and it was during the pandemic, and everything was like every individual item was like $2 to $3 more expensive. If they had the things I wanted at all.
Fuck all of that shit.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
I go shopping at like 9 o'clock right now because they close at 10, and there's nobody there. It's great.
That's
nice.
Yeah,
I can't do that here because we have a 9 o'clock curfew.
Yeah,
literally, it's
totally
you're not allowed to be outside after 9.
A completely constitutional.
It's like curfews are a way to make. Yeah, it's like curfews are just a way of shutting down protests that are legal.
Yeah, weird, huh? You'd think that's what, but not in my country. That can't be what's happening. Not in the United States of America. Sugoi desu ne. Wowie! Thanks for the sub. Tengu Gemini 30 months.
And this fucking cover.
It's pretty good. Man,
It's
you know what I
powerful.
like? You know what I like? I like how a setting in Windows, when I did a major update, it worked, and then literally 2 weeks later, that setting isn't working anymore.
Cool. That's the Windows experience.
That's literally the Windows experience. So now, anything that is on call, anything that happens during a call for some reason, just gets almost completely muted. So my alerts don't come in at the proper volume, and I can't control that. Even though this is a setting that literally fucking worked after the last Windows update. It was like, oh, okay, fine, awesome, it's fixed. Now it's fucking broken again. Literally,
Nothing is safe. Nothing is sacred.
Literally, I just fucking hate everything.
That's good. We're in the same boat. I'm actually in that boat right now. It's kind of weird.
It's a weird headspace to be in. I'm just, man.
I was just walking around the grocery store fuck this place. I fucking hate this. I hate every person here. I hate this store. I hate this stupid store. I hate their stupid salami. It's not the same.
Look at that bitch eating crackers.
I did get the pickled beets, which were not available on my Walmart. Were very good. I downed about 2/3 of the jar that night.
Oh God!
I shared them with my special friend that visited earlier today, and they did not care for them.
Oh no! It's over.
How to make somebody quickly exit anything resembling a friendship or relationship with you? Give them pickled beets.
The other one was making them listen to a bunch of Sonic music.
God, what are you trying to do to these people? Are you literally just actively trolling people on dating apps now? Is that what's going on? Where it's just hey babe, come here and check out my Fate Stay Night collection. You want to listen to some awesome Sonic jams? There's this cool Knuckles song about not chuckling.
This is a friend of 5 months. It was. I read the room, and the room said, "Play Sonic music for 20 minutes."
Were they quiet the entire time?
Nine Inch Nails playlists. That's a third date thing.
There you go.
Then we played Kirby's Epic Yarn. It was very nice. That is a win in any. That's a win in any dating situation, I think.
Kirby's Epic Yarn is
Kirby's Epic Yarn.
Kirby's Epic Yarn is how you salvage a date gone wrong by Sonic music and pickled fucking beets.
It worked.
It was Symphogear music.
There you go. That's what you need. Good Symphogear music. Any mention of that word is gonna just perk his ears right up.
I know. I'm just cackling at how funny this whole dynamic is. You did such a good job finishing it and then being like, nope.
I blocked off every avenue of any way to gauge my opinion. I have liked and retweeted Symphogear material equally, I think.
You keep liking all my Hebe keys, and I'm just side-eyeing you suspiciously.
You mostly retweet Hebe keys.
Yeah, that's literally the only character. I've retweeted a few Chris's.
You did a Chris last night, too.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
There was that really good Chris meme, too. That really good Chris meme that After 5 made where, the polyhead was in the gun.
Yes, that was also good.
Right, yeah. Delete this.
That was really good.
Chris is really good.
Eh.
Polly,
John's opinions are well known, so this isn't useful.
Yeah. No, there's a thing I said a few episodes ago that Polly probably didn't understand at all, and now we'll probably understand where I said I've seen Twitters of a girl who said, "Chris made me realize I was gay." Do you understand now, Polly?
I get you.
Yeah.
Not Maria or Tsubasa? Those seem to be the popular ones there.
Who's Maria? We're talking season 1 here.
Yeah.
I've
only seen season 1.
Yeah.
Wink, wink.
Wink, wink.
That would be the ultimate reveal. Remember when I did the whole, I rewatched season 1 and then was like, oh, by the way, I rewatched seasons 2 and 3?
Oh my God.
If Polly's like, oh, by the way.
By the way, this entire week. Oh my God.
If you hadn't read, a 17-hour visual novel.
Yeah, that might be feasible.
I would think you may have actually had the time to do some other things, but probably not.
All right, we good?
You good?
We good?
I'm good. I'm always
As good as we're going to be, I think.
Welcome welcome all, to another episode of the Sockscast, number 118, brought to you as always by Moon Pies. Moon Pies, they're better than that new Shantae game that doesn't look that good that just came out that you didn't know was out.
I knew it was out because Frez was talking about it, but it looks just like the previous one that it wasn't very good.
That's so funny because Frez was just like,
really, like I saw
around an open world and she transforms and it's a Shantae game.
I watched somebody play a bit of this and it looks like it even looked like a huge step back from Half Genie Hero. So I don't know. It looked real. It looked super boring to me.
Just visually, does it not look like they just used those same assets?
It looks like they
like
used lower.
It
looks like they used lower res assets. Weirdly enough.
Oh gosh, that's
I'm not the one that can make that call, but that's what it looked like.
I'll have to do some comparison.
Yeah. But yeah, welcome everybody. It's another fun time here with your Sockscast pals, doing what we do. Talking about them video games.
Dunk on games we haven't played.
Dunk on games that we've not played. That just proves how embedded in internet culture we are when we just dunk on... You just talk freely about shit you've never played and create very formulated opinions on it. We should have just based the entire Games of the Decade list on that. We're still working on it. Rhett had a little bit of an oopsie poopsie. That put us behind a little. But Rhett, do you want to tell the audience at home what you did?
Okay,
so we can shame you on the podcast.
This is a public service announcement that a lot of people probably know. Don't clean your PC monitor with Windex. The ammonia will immediately kill it.
And I went and looked after he DM'd me this at like 2:30 in the morning or some shit. And
I posted at like 4 a.m. I'm not really smart.
Like I'm dumb as hell.
Yeah, that's it.
And after I get this message of what he did, I go and look at the back of my bottle of Windex, and very clearly there is an icon that has a computer monitor and a big X through it.
Where I'm going, I didn't need reading.
Clearly. So we're still working on Games of the Decade. It's just this little incident probably put us a week behind. So
yeah,
we have a prospective date, but we don't want to give it away right now. But you will hear about it soon. I promise. We got something nailed down. We just kind of gotta knuckle down and make sure Rhett gets his new monitor and it's all good.
Unfortunately, apparently UPS shipping is like super backed up right now.
Yeah. So
I've heard they're hitting like Christmas level volume without Christmas level staff.
Yep.
Oh,
that's a big problem.
Doesn't help me mailing my Mega Man Battle Network manga to friends.
Oh
no, it doesn't.
Like, hey, I want this out of my house. Take it, please.
I mean, you could just use postal. I think it's specifically UPS.
Yeah, it's specifically UPS. That's kind of a big old butt problem right now.
Yeah, but guess which one is open and near me?
Oh, right.
in walking distance of lugging Mega Man Battle Network manga in a backpack.
I have a friend that they're like a UPS sort of like pickup station, and they're just like swamped they get to a point daily where they have to stop taking packages because they can't hold any more in their store.
Oof.
So
what's going on? Like, is this just like people being backed up for like 2 months?
I think we're backed up for 2 months, and people just like buying a whole bunch of stuff with that big fat $1,200 that they got.
But that was even a month ago. It is kind of weird.
It's still trickling. Those are still trickling out though. Like a big batch of those went out, and then they're still kind of sporadically going out. So I think I think we're just catching waves of that. And UPS, like being the largest distributor in America that I know of, anyway, sort of falls on them to kind of get all that shit going to where it's going. To my immediate virtual right, he makes the fire, but he misses the firefight. It's Rhett.
Hi.
Hey, John. How's it going?
I'm excited for this episode.
Why are you excited for this episode? This is just an episode.
We have a lot of good stuff to talk about.
It's not even a nice round number. It's just like, here's like episode 118.
I just think we all have a very extremely solid list of stuff we've played.
There's a good slate of shit to talk about, to be excited about for once. I don't think that. I think that there might be
one thing maybe more than the others, but
maybe. Definitely got to get that Sonic Adventure replay that I talked about. I mean, God, I just can't wait. So you're definitely ready for a podcast. More ready than you've ever been.
Since last week, actually.
Yep, since last week. To my immediate virtual left, keep the demons down and drag the skeletons out. It's John Thayer.
Hi.
Hey. What you doing?
I'm doing well. I got my cup of tea. Feeling good. Mm-hmm. Got company of friends. Mm-hmm. Nice weekend.
Mm-hmm. Oh, who are your friends?
Yo, you two. My best friends.
Every time I do it, it's very hilarious to me.
It is very funny every time.
So you're very ready for a podcast yourself, then, sounds like.
Yeah. I've got a couple things I want to talk about.
I'm
excited to hear y'all talk about your things.
Nice. Well, why don't we go ahead and start with you then, John Thayer?
Hey, Polly!
Polly!
Hi.
Polly, what you been up to?
What have I been doing?
What you been up to?
What have I been up to? Well, I haven't done a whole lot, unfortunately. Uh-huh. It's been busy.
I think you've done two big things.
I did a couple of things. So I guess we're starting with me. It's always weird to me out when we start with me. Fucking asshole. So the first thing I did is kind of like, I got a wild hair up my ass, and I don't know why I decided to do it. There was nothing that provoked it. People I follow are engaging with it as well, but that's not why I'm doing it. It was just kind of like, hey, I'm going to do that. So I'm taking a trip back, way back to the heady days of 1983, June 1983 to be specific.
Ooh.
The 58th year of the Showa era. We're going to take a trip back to 2006.
Yeah.
So in 2006, I was basically in the middle of probably the longest anime drought I've ever been in the middle of. Mm-hmm. I didn't watch or keep up with anything from 2002 until 2006 maybe. The only thing that I was doing from 99 through maybe 2002 was just updating my VHS collection to DVD, which I'm one of those nerds that had a pretty extensive VHS collection. So for some reason, Rhett he is one of those people that when he wants you to do something, he's really incessant about it.
Oh, jeez.
Hey, will you do this? Will you do this? Will you do this? Hey, do you want to do this? Will you do this? He's one of those people. So
it's very charming.
He was coming at me with these two hot off the press shows that he thought, man, you totally need to watch. The first of them was The Melancholy of Haruhi Suzumiya. That was that was a banger. It was good stuff. The next
up on
one,
your anime of the decade list.
Yeah,
actually.
It got pretty high
at number 2.
At number 2.
Well, the movie did because
the series
was decade.
Yeah. But that sort of started a new anime renaissance for me.
Well, Polly, don't forget we did watch Elfen Lied.
We did.
That was also important.
That was very. So you were
important. I like some violent anime.
I like some violent anime. Exactly. So, and you were like, you know what? I bet I got the trick for you. So he shows me this picture of this girl holding an axe or a hatchet. And I think my immediate response was, it's just obviously ripping off American McGee's Alice.
Oh, jeez.
Because there's that one specific picture. It's like an evening cast kind of picture, and she's just standing there holding it, glaring at the camera, and it's just like, that's so fucking American McGee's Alice.
It is honestly similar. I forgot about that.
Of course, we were talking about a property that I think would become really indebted, but embedded into this community quite a bit, and obviously it inspired mine and John's works a little bit, maybe more than a little bit. Of course, I'm talking about Higurashi no Naku Koroni, or Higurashi When They Cry, as it is more commonly known in the West. For some reason, I got a big old idea in my head this past week. I saw that GOG was giving away the first chapter of Higurashi When They Cry, Onikakushi. They're still doing so. They're doing so until there is a vaccine for the coronavirus, which is really cool. Nice. So you can get yourself a nice big fat 15, 20-hour story there for free if you want. So I decided I'm going to read this again. And I'm not only going to read it, I'm going to read it out loud to everybody. Because I'm fucking crazy. Like, I already hate reading out loud enough as it is. Like, I try to weasel out of so much reading at the end of the year lists. And that's just one time a year.
Yeah.
I just voluntarily put myself through 17 straight hours of reading to people. And it was a delight. It was a delight to do. Just for
every time I dipped my head in, I was just like, "Oh, this is a good vibe. This feels nice."
It was surprising to me how much that story still kind of sticks to my soul. The moment that really got me, the moment that I knew, like, I'm really connected to this, is literally press start to start the game. And the game starts with, every game starts with a poem by Frederica Bernkastel. And I was like halfway through reading that and I got choked up. And I was just like, and it was because everything was flooding back of like what those words actually mean, because now I know, obviously. Yeah. So it was just like, oh God, there's so much to this story and we are just starting it. Oh my God.
It's interesting to me that those caused such a emotional reaction from you, because that's one of the things they cut from the anime.
Yeah.
But we still got so into that series, we still knew about all the visual novel stuff. And I know you read part of the originals.
And I literally helped translate and edit the original Manga Gamer scripts for the Answer arcs. So
yeah.
But I didn't. But it was very much like that Final Fantasy VII remake feeling of kind of watching the opening again and like having it kick me in the chest. I kind of got that similar vibe of just like, oh, this is exactly what I need in my life right now. Oh, because this is not a property or a series that I've gone back to like at all. Ever since Kai ended and that the Saikoroshi arc that they did for the anime as well. After that, we obviously went into Umineko and the trash fire that turns into.
Do you remember that anime, the one off they did like Daybreak or something?
Yeah, it was oh my God.
It was so forgettable. It's so weird. Like, that was our last kind of experience there. Yeah. They are doing that remake of the anime now.
They are. They're doing like, and it is a retelling of the original story, so it's not something new. I mean, it's by a studio.
So I'm probably just gonna wait for that.
Yeah, it sounds like another studio that's kind of bad. But it was interesting revisiting this from this perspective, because now we're doing it through the visual novels, and I had not read the question arcs before. So you're getting a lot of detail in that story now that they obviously can't fit in because of the time restraints that they had. So you get a lot of very kind of Trails in the Sky-ish world building, and just there's a lot of club activities, which are just.
It seems like a whole lot.
It's pretty great.
There's a lot, and they're doing that to really kind of settle you into the warmth of this backwoods country village and stuff, and like they're really good at painting the picture of what Hinamizawa is, and making you really kind of fall into feeling like a part of it, in a way that the anime just can't do, because it's only got 4 episodes for that first arc, and that's really going fast.
It's crazy how abridged those are.
Yeah, it's crazy how abridged they are and how good they still turned out. Because it still leaves an impression. You still get a lot of that feeling from it. And another thing I really like that they do is that you're coming into a situation where there's a lot of pre-established relationships and these characters are already good friends. A lot of and making the player kind of feel not left out by that is really hard to do. And this is a series that manages to pull that off wonderfully. You kind of feel yourself get worked into that mold in the same way that Keiichi is, who the visual novel kind of takes place from his perspective, so we're getting his narration through all this. As he becomes more sort of embedded in Hinamizawa's culture and grows closer to these people, and starting to feel like he belongs, you start feeling that too, and it's a lot warmer than I was expecting, and I was kind of dreading the club activity stuff, but the more that it happened, the more it's just like, this isn't filler. Like, somebody is actually really having a lot of fun writing this. Like, it doesn't feel like it's being put there to, for any kind of fan servicey purpose or to kind of fill up time. It feels like it's there because it needs to be. And to my knowledge, I know that they kind of back off on that in later chapters.
It's good that they set it up front then.
Yeah.
Because that just creates this kind of emotional anchor for a lot of the rest of the story here.
Yeah.
And it's all fun. There's actual drama to it. When having the stupid fair game where they're trying to shoot the bear off. And it's so fun.
There's so much actual tension there, and it's just kids actually just having fun and trying to concoct this plan to just get a big dumb stuffed bear. It's really cute.
It's so sweet.
And the way the club games, the way that they're cheated, but they're cheated in really fun and smart ways, and Keiichi is really good at playing that shit up. And adapting to those things and not feeling like the idiot. Even if he's going to lose, he's going to outsmart somebody in some way, and that feels really cool. So you are reading this as well, John.
Yes, I'm chapter 9 or so.
Oh, yeah, you're really close now.
I'm far in. Yeah, I'm probably going to wrap it up tonight.
You got about 3 hours left or so.
Cool. That's kind of what I figured. Is that the last ones would be chunky?
Oh yeah.
But yeah, it was funny because I just watched a handful of club activities on your stream.
Yeah.
And then I jumped back into the game and then I did all the club activities again. So I did not. When it does get scary, I haven't touched that part of it in 10+ years.
Yeah.
And it lands real hard when it does get scary, huh?
Yeah, they really make... Higurashi has first and foremost always been called a sound novel, and they're really good at using the sound. Cutting the music out at the proper times, bringing it back, knowing when to bring in those eerie tones, or bringing out the cicadas constantly going is so good. It's such a great audio... it's such great audio glue that ties everything together. And when the Higurashi aren't crying and major shit's going down, is it's a really interesting way of tying that shit together. What do you think about the artwork, John?
I completely love it.
So the version that I'm playing, the Manga Gamer release originally, this has art that was done in-house by their own person. It has the PS2, PS3 art, and then it's got the original as well.
Yeah.
So, and you can switch between those on the fly. And it's really cool that they preserved Ryukishi's original artworks, because they're I know a lot of people call them bad, but
they're charming.
They're very they have an entire line of figures made out
Zune
of
energy.
I have those figures. I sent Rhett one.
Oh, you do?
I'm pretty sure I did.
Nope. I would remember that.
I think you thought that you'd sent me one too, and I was like, nope.
Okay, I'm missing Erika then, because I sent one. I sent one to somebody, and it was Erika.
Oh no.
Rika's... I can't believe... Oh no, poor Rika's lost.
Rika's lost in the Kakeda somewhere. Just gone forever.
She's lost in the ogre's abyss.
Yeah.
But to me, I think something that's very striking about When They Cried is reading it again. Well, I barely read the VN. I mostly just watched the show and read a bunch of the manga at the time. So most of the VN stuff is fresh to me.
Yeah.
What's really striking to me is that he writes children like children in a way that feels nice to me.
Yeah.
The way that they're goofballs with each other, the way they set these rules, and the drama is so like real in these club activities, and then when things get scary, how like meaningfully helpless and out of your depth you feel.
Yeah. Like because
in
it's
the
really
world of these adults.
It's really children playing around for a lot of this game, and then you get to those moments, and Keiichi's losing his shit. And it feels really fucking real.
He feels like a scared kid, and that's such a vulnerable position to be projecting yourself kind of into. Reading these games. Yeah, it's rough.
And we noticed, like, while reading this, when we started, it came up a lot, and that there's a lot of Type Moon energy here.
I mean, that's the comparison. Because they don't feel like kids in Type Moon stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Like, Ryukishi, like is very clearly a fan of the things that Nasu does, and it comes through a lot in the way that he writes a lot. But I think the key difference is I feel like Ryukishi feels bad for the things that he puts his characters through. And it feels like there's a core there that is striving for something very good and positive against this crushing, awful torment. And it's a solution that you ultimately will get to, but you've got to fucking work your way through the muck. Whereas with Nasu, I don't feel that a desire for good is there. I feel that Nasu's work just has this terrible worldview that I can't and don't want to be a part of.
The women in his stuff feel designed to, their suffering feels designed to be consumed. It feels, and them being kids just feels like part of the kind of fetishiness of it.
Yeah.
Which sucks.
Yeah.
whereas the Ryukishi stuff, that does not feel like you are consuming them that way, and it feels like.
And these are real characters that are built from real traumas that you're going to start understanding later. It's just that Onikakushi, you can't show everything right now.
Of course.
You have to kind of like you present a situation at a face value, and then you start digging deeper in the layers of why things are the way they are. And I feel that there's a lot of humanity in the solutions that come from Higurashi.
They kept saying Fata Morgana was like good fate, but the good fate was with us all along.
Yeah, we just didn't. We just hadn't like delved into it.
But of course, Keiichi's never gonna make me feel as cool as projecting myself onto.
Are you sure? Keiichi's got some real fucking cool moments.
Okay, we'll see. Because Shiro's really fucking cool.
Look, man.
I mean, he's never gonna like start summoning swords and
never gonna summon
magic.
But he's gonna get on the roof of that school, and he's gonna show somebody that they're loved.
Fuck me, God, yeah. Oh, feelings. Oh boy. Sorry for screaming at Mike. That's
fine. It's fine. It's it. Look, man.
Oh man.
But Higurashi is a lot.
The whole worldview thing really. I don't have a strong memory of like the shape of this story at all. I just have a memory of like
the big crescendo
mostly
moments.
because I watched it when I was like 15. What mostly stuck out to me was like the very intense violence. The really striking moments of violence that hurts a lot as a viewer. So those are most of the memories there. Yeah. So I remember a little bit of the warmth. But I think I'm a lot more open and kind of in a position to absorb that maturely than I was as a kid. Yeah. So I'm really excited about it. Because I'm just like reading this, just like...
It's pleasant as fuck.
Just talk! Please just have a talk to them. Oh
my God. Like that's what I was like... I know this story in and out, and while I was reading it, sitting there the whole time, like, inside, I'm still dying. Just like, please, dude, just talk to them. They just want to talk to you.
Mm-hmm.
And
then, like, right once it starts getting really scary,
yep.
Like, I felt a little bit like, I get it. I understand why you're not trusting them right now, and it hurts because I know that's not the right move, but I get it.
Yep.
Oh, this sucks. Oh
no. We know where this is going.
We just spent 4 hours like club activities.
Yeah.
I love all of these characters so much. And I care about them so deeply.
We want a bear. We got the bear.
Want them to be okay.
Yeah.
Because at this point in it's important, like, at the point where I'm at in Onikakushi, you don't know that these characters are, like, any of these characters are going to be, like, ultimately good or ultimately bad.
Yeah,
like could just be, this is going to turn into pure horror.
Yeah.
And you are in danger, and these people are the enemy. And it puts you in that paranoid headspace, and then it builds from there.
Yep. Yep. And the thing is, like, I have people watching this. Like, I didn't think anybody would come out for this. Like, this was me just like, I got a wild hair up my ass, and I'm going to try something. So I downloaded the game, threw it in, and, like, fucking 10 people are there the first night. Like, what is going on here? I'm just reading, and I'm terrible at this. What are you doing here? But like, I found out that, like, June is also a big Higurashi fan, so that's cool.
Nice.
And there are people also that don't know where the story's going. So that's fun. That's really fun. Just having people
The reactions at the end of that last stream must have been quite interesting.
Yup.
Oh, man.
It's like, yeah, where do you go after that?
What is phase 2 after this?
Exactly.
I think I remember y'all I remember hearing a bit about your reactions to, like, episode 5.
Episode 5 of the anime. What? It's like, what?
I mean, I was on this train so early. I think episode 5 was the last one that had aired when I started it. So I hit episode 4. It's just like,
huh?
What do you do? What do you do? What do you do from here? What?
And then having to wait week for week for every new episode was just...
It was
a lot.
But it was awesome. Like, we did that for the remainder of Higurashi, and then through Kai, which was a year later.
Yeah. At least it was only a year. I feel like some sequels now are like 2 or 3 years later, and it's just brutal.
Yeah, but man, like, it's nice knowing that this is a piece of media that still holds up. Because I've kept away from it, because I came off of Umineko, and I think I came off feeling real bummed and burned by Umineko, and I think to a degree I let it kind of color my perception a bit of like, wait a minute, maybe Higurashi wasn't actually that good. I'm not gonna go back and look, because if I do, what if it starts falling apart? I don't want that story to fall apart.
I mean, the ways Umineko falls apart were never present in
No, they're not.
Higurashi.
They're absolutely not.
Higurashi also never has, like, energy sides.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know what I'm noting. I don't know what I'm noting there. I'm just acknowledging that Umineko has energy. I found out that Umineko has energy sides, and that didn't make me very excited.
Umineko definitely has way more, like, fate energy on terms of, like, action scale.
Umineko has
some good bullshit.
Umineko's got some incredible highs. There are so many times while I was reading that through that story, and while we were chasing it through to the end, that some of the most amazing moments in visual novel reading history for me. Like, I still remember moments that stand out so much, and I still just, like, I love them, but this story betrayed me so much.
Yeah, so I say, we talked about, like, what you don't like about Umineko, and I get it.
Yeah.
It's definitely, it's higher highs and lower lows.
Yeah.
But, and that whole last chapter's...
Like, what are you are, this is literally an author giving up.
Oof.
Like, the way that
but
they
those
present...
highs. See, I just remember those highs.
The way they present the solution to you is just so, whatever, fucking here it is, you dumbass. You want it anyway. Go ahead and lap it up, useless goat. Like, fuck you then. I just wanted to fucking play along and figure out the mystery. That's like, and you're making me feel bad about it. When it's a fucking mystery visual. Man, I'm gonna end up reading that story again, ain't I?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so here for that one. John and Polly read Umineko.
God,
it was always planning to. This has been like on the list for a long time.
I had a feeling.
I was into Higurashi well before I got into visual novels,
right,
like as a concept.
Yeah.
So now it's like, okay, time for the synthesis of these two things to finally kind of arise. And that's another kind of telling thing is like, Higurashi was 2002.
Yeah.
I've played 2001, 2002 visual novels.
Yeah.
And it's pretty like immediately just like, oh, this is like good. This is good for where so that.
Wait.
Like when you look at
Higurashi,
it's pre-Fate. That's crazy.
It's pre-Fate by 2 years.
By 2 years.
Yeah. That's what I was realizing. Is like when they have CL in this, it's because Tsukihime was like a year old.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think much worse than Higurashi.
Yeah.
Yep.
In many ways.
It's just when you mentioned like there being the PS2 sprites, I go, God, it really is that old, huh?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I have that PS2 game. I have that PS2 game.
Nice.
Yeah.
Higurashi ended in 2006, so like the answer arcs and whatnot, that was like post-Fate, but it started and was coming out initially.
Yeah.
Because they did. Yeah. Both Umineko and Higurashi were every comic hat, and there were 8 of each, so that's 4 years.
That's crazy that they never missed one comic hat between any installment on every series they've done. Like, they always hit that 6-month mark every time.
Yeah.
That's nuts when you consider how big these stories are.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. They also photo backgrounds.
Yep.
Also, public domain music.
Yep.
Also, no CGs.
No CGs.
Oh yes, my jam. So it's not just, oh, I've read VNs now, so I extra appreciate what this is doing. It's, oh yeah, we've made VNs now, and we've made like janky Dojin style VNs.
Yeah.
Yep.
That also specifically are kind of telling this story.
Yeah.
So it's very interesting and fun and cathartic, and I'm having an absolute blast with it. And I'm glad. Thank you for kind of sparking me. Like I've been meaning to do this for like 6 years. Let's do it. And it was exactly the right time.
This is something that I feel found me exactly when I needed it to again.
During quarantine.
It just feels like I was meant to come back now. It's never felt like I've never played a game like this and it just feel like this completely right again. And it's just like, like I just want all the dumb surgery stuff over with so I can go start Watanagashi.
Oh,
like, I just want to I just want to dive back in.
Yeah.
Sending you all the love relating that way.
It's
keep us updated.
It'll be good.
That's tomorrow, right?
Yep, that's tomorw.
Yeah,
By the time you're listening to this, I'll be on a lot of drugs.
I have had I've had 2 close family members go through this exact surgery and be okay.
Yeah, my dad had it too, so I ain't worried. I ain't scared. I'm more worried about the tertiary bullshit. Like, oh God, I don't want an IV. Oh God, what if I freak out going under? Oh God, what if I wake up and say something real stupid?
I'm pretty sure they're used to that last one.
Yeah. I remember hearing my dad come out of recovery with some real zingers before. So. But yeah, like finding Higurashi again, like it just feels good to know that this is something that like I like, and it's still amazingly potent and still very, very fucking good.
I think I always was kind of like suspecting that it wouldn't hold up because mostly what I remembered was the violence.
Yeah.
And I kind of was expecting it to be like kind of
Elfen Lied. Like Elfen Lied does not hold up.
Which totally holds up.
No.
We watched it twice, Polly.
I literally
we made music videos.
Any scene involving Mew literally makes me want to put a bullet in my head. Like, oh, it's the most awful shit. It's so bad. And the weird incest angle they keep going for.
There's the weird incest angle. There's the child molestation stuff. There's
it's that.
You know, I haven't revisited it in a long time.
The last time you revisited it was when I reviewed it for the site in 2008.
God.
That was
and then there's the
12 years ago.
I knew we both read the manga too, so we got to see the Diaper Girl.
Yeah, we saw Diaper Girl. Yeah,
the manga was where I checked out. I knew about that stuff. It's like, oh, this is just like awkward fetish.
Yeah, this is just awkward fetish crap. Great, and we watched it to the anime has a better ending anyway.
Yeah. I kind of remember the manga ending be a little cool. She is protecting him from like missiles or something.
It's like they go real nuts with it.
Yeah,
in the manga, which is fine, but I kind of like the
understated anime.
I like
ending.
The understated anime ending. I think it works a little better.
I killed your family. I don't care.
Oh god.
Elven Lied is
not.
Yeah.
Back in the days when anime original endings were actually the better ending.
What up, Full Metal Alchemist?
Yep, what up, Full Metal Alchemist?
God, way better. Way better.
Oh my god, way better. Everything anime original.
Yep.
God.
Don't get me started. Get Brotherhood out of here.
I
didn't say it, but I was thinking it. And then Polly just ran with it.
I get so fucking mad, y'all, about Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. It is so much worse. It is so much worse.
It's so
I cannot comprehend it. It's like every... Yeah, Rhett?
Mustang fights a tank. Or, I forget.
Oh, isn't that great? He fights a tank. That wasn't even in the manga either, which is funny.
Oh, that's funny, actually.
As like, of all the things to not even be in the manga.
Oh, that's good.
It's like the one thing Rhett remembers.
Wow.
It's pretty... You know what? I have a thing for characters fighting tanks, turns out.
Yeah, I kind of know. Yeah, that sounds
I don't think we need to talk about that right now.
Nah, but man... I'm just so excited to be back in Higurashi World, and I hate the fact that it's probably... I hate the fact that it's probably...
just the next 8 episodes?
Yep.
Of the Sockscast,
I hate the fact that
journey.
I really hate the fact that it's going to dovetail into me fucking reading Numineko again. I know it's going to. I just feel it.
Think about... You two need to stay in sync for the next, 16 weeks.
Oh, my God. Oh, my God.
Because if you can... I just want John to bounce his theories on Umineko off you, and you just laugh in his face. Because you can't say anything back, obviously.
No, I can't.
But I wanted John to go on that journey so bad, because it's such a fun ride.
It is
until it crashes.
It's a good ride.
The first, 5 are so good.
Yeah.
I told you, I had a friend who read all of Umineko, and then read all of Higurashi. And then read all of Kikonia.
I really kind of want to get... I really just want to get to Kikonia, though. I think that's going to be... That's going to be interesting, because that seems outwardly fadey. In terms of just all of the magical bullshit. It's just like, here it is. Here's all the magical bullshit.
There's politics stuff, with world country leaders. I think.
Real. It's got a lot of intrigue.
Yeah, it's very un-Higurashi. It's a new thing, but it's also got Ryukishi art, so that makes me happy.
Yeah.
It's like, yes, this is a real Ryukishi thing.
You think we could get? That. You think we could commission Ryukishi to redo the art for her lullaby?
Get him to we do a new VN.
We do a new VN. I just got this. I just had a funny picture in my head of Taco with fucking Ryukishi art style and Rena poses.
It would, she would look. I immediately started thinking of her as Rena.
Yeah,
with the arms, just like, oh my fucking
Lori
God.
is obviously a Mion archetype.
I don't think you need to commission him. I'm pretty sure you could just get somebody to do those edits.
I don't and I'm not taking anything away from Carmi's art. It's just that's a funny idea to think about. Obviously, it's just that's funny. I'm not actually doing it.
Oh my God, it's funny.
Somebody will do it for you. You're just floating the idea.
No, I don't ever want it to appear that way.
Didn't Sayara draw somebody in a...
Sayara drew...
Sayara has already...
Yeah, Sayara already drew Sayara as Rena.
Excellent.
Yeah, it was really good. It was really, really good.
It was really good. God, I was just immediately I want to hear this person's entire story. There's so much pure visual novel energy in Higurashi. It's I told you just like the moment where they reveal like a scary portrait for the first time.
Yes.
And it's just like there are VNs with 100 times this game's budget.
Yep.
That will never have a visual moment as potent as.
It's just, and all they do is change the eyes. They change the eyes.
Just change the eyes, and and then it's like you're lying, aren't you? Oh my god!
Oh god, I am. I'm lying. I'm sorry.
Oh man!
Is it because they set that up with like 10 hours of
Probably.
club stuff beforehand?
Yep.
Yeah.
That's why it works.
Yeah. I mean, it works in the anime because anime is different.
They make that art work in so many ways in this VN though. Like all they have to do is like I remember Sayara brought one to particular attention where it's literally just Rena cocking her head a little bit and it changes the entire fucking dynamic of what you're seeing. It's just like, oh wow, and the fun thing is like Neptunia used to do that. Neptunia used to have graphics where their heads would move around a little bit and it would convey a little more, and then they took that out. And all Ryukishi had to do was just tilt a fucking head and save it as another PNG. Come on, Idea Factory, get your shit together.
It's just like
you've been saying that for 10 years.
Yeah, that's never happening.
Raven in the chat, have we been kidnapped by a serial killer? I wonder.
Come on.
It's good.
Man. I've talked a lot about Higurashi now, but yeah.
We'll talk about it again.
We will
I promise.
probably be talking.
This is the new journey.
I am so in this because I have not. I remember fucking nothing from Kai, y'all.
Oh man,
I remember
so good.
I remember Horn Girl. I remember who the villain is.
Mm-hmm.
It's just gonna hit me, and I don't really remember the 6th arc in the show very much, which I know was. I remember Polly was saying like, "That's my favorite." I remember like bits of it.
That's the Rena one.
Yeah, I remember the Rena one. For some reason the Shion stuff always really stuck with me as a kid.
Gee, I wonder why.
You're getting the numbers wrong. But I won't bother saying which one.
Yeah,
that's fine.
We'll find out.
It's funny. It's funny because you guys are like, "Oh, my memory of this is so kind of faded," and I'm like, I watched that anime probably like 3 times. I remember everything still.
Oh. Like I've watched the first season probably 3 or 4 times. I've watched Kai twice.
Yeah.
I watched the first anime twice and Kai once.
And I just got Kai on Blu-ray.
I have it all on Blu-ray too, but I was like, I'm not going to watch this because I want to read. I don't want to get more of the manga, and I was like, I've had like all the answer arcs and like a little bit of the answer of all the question arcs and some of the answer arcs on manga forever, and like I'll get the rest after I read the VN.
Right.
And now I'm like, this is very expensive now, huh?
It's a very expensive one. These are
very out of print.
Higurashi Kai on Blu-ray is $18 for the whole season. So I got a fucking good deal on that.
Yep, I remember back when that was out of print, and I was like, I really want this.
That was really bad. And then
the manga, some of the later manga volumes. When I was getting the manga, it was actively printing. I was like getting them as they came out.
Yeah, that's when I was getting them too. Yeah.
But I do not. I will probably have to make my peace with not having all the answer arcs in manga form.
Probably. Higurashi's good, everybody.
Higurashi's so good. I didn't know it was good. I thought it was like...
I knew it was
important to me, but I didn't know it was good.
Like, I went into this just kind of like gritting my teeth a little bit, just praying, like, please don't be bad, please don't be bad, please don't be bad. Like, if there is anything I don't want to be wrong about on this podcast, please don't let it be this.
Mm-hmm. Oh my god, you were so gritting your teeth during a couple like early dick jokes.
The dick joke was funny. The dick joke was funny.
It's very funny. There are multiple dick jokes and they're both very funny. He showed me his furry seal.
He showed me his furry seal.
God.
And the way like Mion just casually is like, "Yo, hey, did your dick grow?" Like that's your first interaction with me in the VN is, "Hey, how big's your dick now?"
2 days.
And Rena pretending she doesn't know. It's the funniest.
What are you talking about?
What? I don't get it. I really don't. So yeah,
those are very like these are teenagers kind of razzing each other, which is nice.
There's a lot of fun teenagers razzing each other stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You were saying, right?
I have a very random question.
Yeah.
I'm looking at the SocksMakePeopleSexy.net top 10 cartoons of all time list.
Uh-huh.
Did you not do one?
No.
You didn't? That's
Nope.
weird. I don't remember you.
Didn't do one.
Doing one.
Yeah, you did not, because I would have had it memorized.
Yeah.
That was what during peak pedestaling.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just for reference, John's number 3 was Higurashi.
Yeah.
Cool.
Nice.
I'll
And
take
then
it.
I believe it was my number 1. So
Nice.
yeah.
That would probably have been my number 1.
Oh, my number. I think I put Lane as number 2, which is I think probably I was being very posery there because I don't think I connected with Lane as much as.
Oh no!
That would apply.
Oh no! You want to appear really cool in front of Polly though, so you got to put Lane there.
I put Lane at number 2.
I mean, yeah,
I like
your
Lane.
2 is
Good.
Lane, and your number
I like
1 is
Lane.
Trigun, which
Trigun makes
Trigun
sense.
I definitely connected with
That's
a lot.
yeah.
It was
that-
yeah,
that would make
that's
sense.
fine. I saw that and was like, yeah, that's a John pick, and then Lane is like, huh? Huh? I don't remember him
I've
ever
not
talking about
heard,
Lane.
even in intervening years, I have not heard John say much about
I
Lane.
watched it. I think I watched it like 3 times. Like I want to be cool, but I don't think I'm smart enough for this. Sorry.
Maybe Technolize would fit you more, seeing as it's
maybe I mean, it's been years. Maybe now I'd.
Hey,
Later.
does Lane hold up?
I think so. Yeah, I watched that probably 9 months ago.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Because
Lane
I'm like,
is
man,
really good.
when you actually think about what that show is versus when it came out, it's like internet took over the world since
Yep.
then.
Yep,
They were ahead of the ball.
they called so much.
Okay, that's what I was curious about.
Yep, that show is really, really fucking good. It's still poignant.
Probably makes way more sense now.
I think so. Yeah, I think with the context of the future it was predicting coming to pass.
Yeah. Cool.
So Higurashi's cool. Rhett,
Hey,
what are you doing?
I read a visual novel.
Why would you do that?
Ooh.
Visual novels are dumb. You have to read
Really?
them. Imagine having to read playing a video game.
I know,
Absurd.
right? And this one doesn't even have like an automatic text thing. It's
No.
really
Doesn't have
Dang, I
voices
could-
or anything.
no voices. Got to keep clicking the button, and then it keeps asking you to make drinks.
Why would you?
Because I played Valhalla Cyberpunk Bartender Action. I think that's the name.
Yep,
Ooh.
I got feelings about that video game.
Okay.
How do you feel
I
about
hope
it?
I think it's good. I didn't love it.
Cool.
I don't wanna break your
We will
heart.
be replacing Rhett as host come next podcast. So if there were any takers out there, and you have good taste, be sure to hit me up.
I mean, I liked it a lot. It just did not, blow me away like I did for you. Because you had a very unique experience
I
when you
did.
played this game in a single day.
Yeah. Like this
I
thing
also-
hooked me from the get-go.
Interesting.
Mhm.
I had a very weird experience playing this game. So it was about 2 weeks ago, and I start this game up, and the game takes place over a number of days.
Mhm.
It's about 2 weeks, I think.
Yeah.
Like you start mid-December and it goes to the end of the year.
Yeah.
So one of the first things they mention in this game is just kind of an offhand reference to the Tokyo flu.
Yeah.
And then as you go through the day, so you did this whole game in one day. I
Yep.
did it over the course of like 2 weeks. Like,
Yeah.
not quite one day a day in real time, but like somewhat lined up, like
Yeah.
a day and a half per day, especially towards the start. I was going like really slow.
Yeah.
So there's a reference to the Tokyo flu. I forget what else there was, but there's a number of things in the game that felt like they were aligning with real life at the time.
Oh yeah, there's definitely a lot of there's some police brutality talk in that game.
There's some police stuff. There's the characters are talking about there being like literal riots outside the bar.
Yep.
It's not safe to go home tonight.
Yep.
Why don't you just stay here?
Yeah.
And then there's there's the whole thing with the White Knights, which aren't specifically police, but like I think they're like a private force.
Yeah. The private
There's
military
mentions of
contractor.
them being lynched, which
Ye-
is uncomfortable,
Whoop.
and you know one of them, and it's
Yep.
uncomfortable.
Yeah.
So like the way this game starts and was like so weirdly mirroring our real world kind of falling apart right now.
Yeah, and it's
Was a lot to take in.
yeah.
So it was I forgot one other thing. So you know how they did a bunch of updates to this game, or not a bunch, but like minor updates.
Yeah.
There's an incredibly weird thing I noticed is that on the title screen now it says version 1.2.30 or something.
Yeah.
And the subtitle under it is Goodbye, Miss Bartender.
Yep.
And I thought that's super weird
Mm-hmm.
that I'm saying goodbye to a character who I haven't even met yet.
Yeah. Weird.
Like, it's a weird feeling.
Yeah.
And like that title screen in general is just kind of sad.
Yeah, like I think that title screen is really captivating, and I'm not sure. Like you played this on my library, right?
Yeah.
Because I don't know that like if you don't were my save files there?
No.
Okay, that's weird
that stuff never came.
because when After 5 played it, he used my account. Like he used my like the library sharing thing we do, but my save files were there. So my end of game title screen was there. So I like when he loaded it up the first time, I had to make sure nobody in chat said a fucking word. Because
holy shit, that's
everything changes.
Yeah, that's really weird.
Yep. And all of my save files were there. It was really weird.
That's really weird.
Mm-hmm.
That's never that didn't happen to me. I just noticed the whole Goodbye, Miss Bartender thing, and I thought, well, that's kind of weird, like saying goodbye before I've even started the game.
I haven't even met Miss Bartender.
I know, it's just weird, like, already being focused on kind of the end before. But, like, so with all that stuff, I just kind of realized during, like, the first hour of the game, there's just a quiet sadness here that, like, everything's really kind of fucked up.
Yeah.
And they're just, it's like, it's slice of life, but, like, life kind of sucks.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, even in the moments...
And it was a lot to deal with.
Even in the moments where these characters are clearly kind of, like, trying to get a laugh out of things, there's still this kind of dour, awful feeling to everything where it's just like, we are eking by the best we can.
Mm-hmm. Everything is insanely expensive. Like, every drink in the bar is like $200. I think crazy. Is like the minimum.
Inflation.
There's nuts. Like the behind the shelf counter that's like every drink here is $500. Like, what the hell?
What?
So you go to the in-game shop and it's like, oh, it's a video game. It's $700 or whatever. It's a poster. It's $13,000.
$13,000.
Not quite that bad, but everything is extremely inflated.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, there's a dour mood to the whole thing. That's just the whole way, like, she does exactly two things. She works and she goes home, or you can go to the shop.
And so they really, really drill into the psychosis of that.
Yeah, it's just this routine of you go home and then the option to continue the game is just to go back to work.
Yep.
And then you can read the 4chan message board standard. Which is very funny.
Yeah, the message board stuff is really good. I love how everybody in that world loves Yeek. That fucking Y2K game.
Okay, so I guess I'll talk about that now. This game made me definitively fucking hate references.
Yeah.
To anything.
Yeah.
Because it's not just YIIK, Yick.
No,
the 2016 Postmortem RPG, which gets referenced
a bunch. I think it's the same publisher, so they probably felt like some kind of like, hey, let's throw our friends a shout out.
Oh God, talk about references that do not fucking age well, though, because it's not. Because when I first saw there's in the shop, there's like an Alex figure, his beard grows in real time.
Yeah,
I thought, well, that's dumb. But there won't be more references to Yick.
No, there's tons of them.
And then, late in the game, a person comes to the bar, and they drop that they are cosplaying a character from
Yick.
And I'm just, okay, sure. And then there's, like, in the newspaper, there's multiple references to how many times this game has been remastered.
Yeah.
And the character... Like, Jill's talking about, oh, that's the third time they've remastered it this year. Like, oh, so bad.
You can literally feel yourself turning to stone every time it's mentioned.
But man, the cosplayer one was so a lot because of it. That's the one time it shows up, like, in, like, the main story.
That is, like, the one customer, it was just like, why are you here? Like, this adds nothing.
They're just putting it in your face as much as
it's
they
like
can.
this is a reference, and I'm gonna make you read 10 minutes of it.
Yeah, but that's not the only reference in this game.
Nope.
There's a character, who's just George Costanza from Seinfeld.
His name is Art Vandelay.
His name is Art Vandelay. He shows up several times. They make like 5 minutes of Festivus references when they're closer to Mega Christmas.
Yep.
Jill's like, "Oh, you look like more of a Festivus guy." I'm just like, my eyes are doing 360s in my head because I can't roll them far enough. So, Polly, I wasn't sure on this one. Is one of the characters just Jim Sterling?
Yep.
Okay.
I was just Jim Sterling.
That guy's just Jim Sterling, huh?
Yep. They don't really hide that at all. It's very much, that's Jim Sterling.
So, you've got George Costanza and Jim Sterling as just regular characters that show up like 3 or 4 times.
But I don't think that they're bad characters. I think that they do a lot in actually fleshing those characters out and making them interesting. Because it's not just it's not just me talking to Jim Sterling. Like, that character is not Jim Sterling. It looks like him.
I know, his character actually was pretty good.
Yeah.
But it's more just, you start me on the wrong foot with these characters.
Yeah, obviously.
And every time George Costanza shows up, it's just like, why are you here, dude?
Yeah.
Like, because everyone else has like a real kind of distinct visual look to them, like more anime, and then these characters just stand out like sore fucking thumbs.
Yeah, like he is literally Jim Sterling, and that is literally Jason Alexander.
Yeah, it's just
it's a little much.
It takes me out of the game every time, basically.
Yeah.
Along with every time they mention Yick. And then there's one other reference. There's 2 corgis in the game that talk. Yep. Like the dogs.
Yep.
One of them just has a Metal Gear Solid 5 eye patch, specifically the one that Boss has. Yeah. And in the Anna demo, when he shows up, he goes, "Kept you waiting, huh?"
Yep. They definitely wear the references. Like, they're not clever references.
They're not clever. They're just in your face, and they're dumb.
It's like, hey, I'm doing that thing that you know exists.
I think that's the first line in Lady Killer in a Bind.
There's a Lady Killer in a Bind reference.
Mm-hmm.
Oh God, right. They just straight up say, "Hey, do you know the biker Christine Love?" Like, it's like the reference is just person's name.
Yeah, like there's nothing clever or fun here.
She runs the baddest ass gang. Christine Love, she does.
Like, it's like, okay, yeah, sure. I put a reference to Rhett's games in her lullaby, but I did it in a way that wasn't like, oh man, I'm sure glad. Maybe I'm nervous. I'll play one of Rhett's video games.
Yeah. Those were just images that weren't commented on. They were just background flavor.
Yeah.
I can't wait to get back home and have sex with Rhett. He's so cool and great.
You know, in times like this, I play my favorite game, Super Zalixer, on my phone. You can download it at inconsequentialassistance.com/Super Zalixer.
Man, there is a really good April 1st Her Lullaby visual novel that needs to happen.
Oh, God.
It really does!
So it's going to have Higurashi sprites, and they're just going to drop references the whole time.
And
and it's actually a Polydungeon riff.
It's a Polydungeon riff, exactly.
Oh, that's funny.
Right.
I think there's a part where, like, the Metal Gear Solid dog just straight up starts going into, like, one of the speeches from that game where he's like, "We're gonna build a place where we can be ours," because he's building like an outer heaven for dogs.
Like Diamond Dogs is what they're kind of like. He's trying to pull the MGS5 reference. Yeah,
that's how Lady Killer in a Bind ends too. There's an extended Metal Gear Solid riff monologue for the climax of the game.
It's
pretty great.
That's bad.
At least it's not like a direct reference. It's just like, hey, we're gonna kind of copy the style of this, but this is just making a reference.
This was just haha reference, exact same dialogue basically.
Like, it's not a reference if you just take the dialogue and say it verbatim. You've got to do something with it. You've got to make it your own in some way.
I think for me, it's just when you're trying to build like this future world, all those references just take you out of it.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's rough.
Yeah. I'm not saying you're wrong.
Maybe feels a little bit too online. Is that fair?
Yes, that is a thing with this game. This game even has a character that is the very representation of too online. And they kind
Streamer Chan?
Yeah, Streaming Chan. And they kind of missed that while they were writing her, that they are probably a little too online with the script themselves.
Mm-hmm. I think a game like this that was as spread as it was, like I feel like this was a lot of people, they were buddy with a lot of other people who were kind of big published game devs, and then they were kind of boosting each other, and it feels a little it sounds a little clubhousey.
Definitely.
Yeah, like I get that. It's fine, but it's just like if it's shoehorned in a way that just feels unnatural, you're taking everybody out of the experience and it looks like you're just wanking each other off.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh, definitely. Like, yeah. Like, Streamer Chan, if that's based on somebody, I don't know who.
I'm not sure. I don't think it is. I think she's a great character, though.
That's what I'm saying. She was fine. She didn't bug me at all. She fit in the universe.
Yeah.
It's just like this, like
I see this. I see this being a thing. Like she's very believable. Like, there's a lot of good characters that fit. It's just when you hit one of the ones that doesn't. Yeah,
which jarring.
That's not often. It's not often. Like this is a cast. This is a game with a huge cast of characters, and I think that like 90% of them are fine.
I don't know if it's that huge. I
would say it's
3 or 4 Okay. So I didn't like the references. It's just one taking like 10 minutes to say.
Right.
So first arc. Very sad in general, but like understated.
Yeah.
And then second arc, something real bad happens to Jill.
Boy, a big old thing just comes in and you're just like, oh, I just got torpedoed. Oh no, my feelings. What the fuck is happening to them?
So it's not something like directly bad happening to her, but it's, information that is bad and things suck for a while.
Oh.
And that whole arc is rough. Where she's like unable to focus on work, and like everyone is like talking to her like, "Hey Jill, you okay?" And she's like, "No," basically.
No, my life is absolute shit right now, and I would like to die. Do you want something to drink?
Yeah. So it goes from like this kind of quiet, understated sadness to this very overt, in your face sadness, basically.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I think my 2 favorite scenes in the game. This might have been how Act 1 ended, is when Boss stays over.
Yeah.
I think that's the end of Act 1.
I think so. Yeah. Like that's a really, really good scene.
Just every scene that's kind of takes you out of the routine, I really appreciated.
Yeah.
And like, there's just a button to just drink some more beer.
Drink more beer.
I don't think it really...
Getting drunk doesn't affect anything, but you get a drunk meter anyway. It
doesn't do anything, but it's just like... You're just chilling, and every once in a while, if another character's talking, you just hit that drink button, take a little sip. And it's a very lived-in moment, I guess.
It really is.
Just getting to spend.
And they're like having a conversation that really fucking makes sense. They're digging deep into the shit at that point.
Yeah. Yeah. I was sad when there were several other instances where it seemed like they were going to do a scene kind of outside the norm.
Yeah.
Like when Dorothy comes over.
Yeah.
And then it just jumps forward in time.
Yeah.
That's a bummer.
Yeah.
Like even the ending where they're like, "Oh, now we're gonna have a big party," and then just cuts to credits. And you're just like, "Oh,
yeah,
okay." Like I kind of saw that one coming based on how long the previous scene was, but that was still kind of a bummer.
Yeah.
Like, felt like some scenes.
It felt like some of that stuff kind of probably had to be shortened up just because like we don't have the time / money to do it.
Yeah. I think my favorite scene in the whole thing though is when Jill becomes the customer.
That is such a cool moment that you don't see happening, and it's really, really good. Like the conversation they have there is, it's heavy. Like the back half of that game just gets real fucking heavy.
It's a great conversation and just getting to see Jill.
Yeah.
Instead of being her for a bit.
Yeah.
And just. She's very sad looking. She's not having a good time.
No, she's having a rough go at things right now.
Yeah.
All the Dorothy hugs in the world, like as amazing as those probably are, it's just not going to pull you out of it.
Dorothy's so good, best character.
Dorothy's
Because I'm very immature.
Dorothy.
I laugh at all her dumb shit.
Her and Streaming Chan are like the perfect. Like, I needed more time with those two on screen at the same time because
At the same, it would have been too much.
It would have been too much. It would have been the right kind of too much, though.
Yeah.
Like, who has the grossest fuck story?
Dorothy just has so many great one-liners.
God.
Like, can't believe I'm using the spare tongue this early in the night.
Like, she's just so casual about everything. Yeah. And it's not even flaunting it or anything. It's just who she is.
I think she's very much flaunting.
I think that she says humor. There are things that she says obviously to make people uncomfortable, but I think a large part of her personality is to just, hey, I got nothing to be ashamed of.
Yeah.
So like, I do think that, like, yeah, she obviously says things because she knows how to get under Jill's skin. But a lot of the time I think that's just, Dorothy is just someone that lives very loudly.
Yeah. And that's why pairing her with Streaming Chan is so much.
It's so good. Like, you only get that dynamic once, and it's really just a hint of a scene, and then they're gone. But it's just like, oh my god, that would have been so good.
Yeah. So, Act 3, for whatever reason, didn't really land for me.
Weird.
It felt weird because I felt like I wasn't sure what the game was building to. So a lot of the Act 3 just felt like kind of filling time. Where it's
they're obviously trying to get to a certain point.
Yeah, there's a period of time you're kind of just waiting for, as well as gameplay wise. Rent is due.
Yeah. And
rent is very expensive. Rent is $10,000.
That's a lot of money for rent.
In a game where you make like $1,500 top every day, and you have to spend some of that on your, distraction item. Yep. So I ended up like not buying
the distraction
5
items.
or 6 days of distraction items, and then laughing at the jokes she does when you're distracted at work. I forget what one of them was, but like one of them actually made me laugh, and I was like, wait, shit, I think it said pile driver for the drink. But I wasn't sure. I was right, but it actually briefly got me distracted enough to question myself, and that was funny.
She says really funny shit because because Jill herself is very immature, and dick jokes are the thing that do it every time. So she's got like a million dick jokes for when she's distracted, and a lot of them are genuinely funny.
Oh, there's one drink that like, there's a drink called Bad Touch, and she always laughs when people order it.
Every single time, it gets her.
Give me a big bad touch.
She's just like, sure, okay. And is just trying not to die laughing the whole time.
Yeah.
Like, I like the entire day where we hung out, where Gil was a fuckboy.
Gil's fuckboy every day.
That was a good day.
I know which one you're specifically.
Yeah, there's a specific day. Hey, come here, fuckboy.
So there's one running joke in this that doesn't make real sense in the context of the game, but it's very funny for us. They just call this character John Face.
Yeah,
you've got a John face.
He's got a real John face. John, you have the face of someone who looks like he just fucked to death last night.
The wording "fucked to death" was also super funny.
That's so good.
Just making it seem like a reference to our John.
Yeah, it literally is why that line worked so much for me.
Yeah, they just randomly keep calling this character John. But yeah, in general, I just kind of thought the third act petered out a bit. Like, it was a bit too on the nose about every character coming back and being like,
having
Jill,
their resolution.
Your advice helped me, and having resolution for them.
Yeah.
And I think maybe deep down, because of how this game mirrored real life for me right now, the fact that they got to have a happy ending kind of pissed me off.
Oh.
I'm not ready for things are actually going to be better right now.
You don't want the this is the first step towards a good thing. I just want the good thing now.
No, I want them to still be miserable by the end.
Oh.
I felt like the good ending in this was a little unearned. Because again, I'm putting
you're
a lot of myself
projecting a
into
little
that
bit
of saying I kind of don't feel like good endings in general are deserved right now.
Yeah, you're not wrong. You're not wrong.
But yeah, the conversation at the end is very good, and I teared up a lot.
Yeah, like that's
But it's kind of disconnected from the whole entire rest of the game.
Yeah, like it kind of happens in its own little space. I feel it's a little divorced from what everybody else and the world is going through. You kind of just have that one personal moment. But
and that's almost like what you kind of have to take from this is like the whole world is crazy, but you can have your own little personal spaces.
Yeah, I think that's
where things are okay.
That's exactly what that game's going for, and it's a good message. Just one that might not land right now, unfortunately.
Yeah. So yeah, that's my experience with Valhalla. I also, the way the Anna stuff is implemented is weird.
Yeah, like Anna they dropped the ball really badly on how they handled patching in the prologues and the demos after the fact.
Should I should have asked you when I saw that stuff. It's like, hey, should I read the prologue? Because I haven't actually read the prologue yet.
Yeah,
I only did the
prologue
the
and the demo, I think, are essential reading. Because they contextualize a little bit. The Anna stuff just kind of comes out of nowhere if you're not...
It's really weird.
Yeah, it's just like, what is going on here? Like, did I launch the wrong game? I feel like I'm reading an entirely different story now.
I'm just like, did something happen in Act 1 that I forgot about? But apparently not. It's in a side thing on the menu.
Yeah, they botched that pretty hard, I think.
They should have just...
I would have just made, like, even if those were demos, I would have just play it anyway. Like, I don't care if you played it already, just play it anyway.
Yeah. Because you can fast forward. I think you can fast forward super quickly anyways and just make the drinks.
Yeah.
The funny thing about the drink mixing is, like, for the first day, you click what you want and you drag it over. Mm-hmm. And then on day 2, I realized if you click, like, in the area closest to the name of the drink and the mixer, it'll just instantly put it in.
Yep.
So I just got real good at doing that.
I just used keyboard. I just like blah, 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 blah. Like
really?
Every button on the keyboard is one of the ingredients. So by the time
that's way easier.
I was just like when I was playing it, I was just like resting my head on my right hand and like advancing text with my left hand and doing drinks with one-handed. So it's just like
Oh, so when they're ordering a beer, you're just like 1 1 2 2 2 3 3.
Yeah, I was just like
fuck. That's way easier than trying to click this hidden invisible spot where it'll drag it over instantly.
Right. Yeah.
Oh well. I'll figure it out because I'll probably go back and read the prologue now.
Yeah, it's probably a good advice too. I think that also for Nirvana, the next game, they're kind of they're mixing up the drink stuff. I think they're trying to make that more authentic, and I don't know if that's going to work. It feels like if you start adding a little too much video game to this, that it can kind of turn bad.
Because I realized pretty early on, I replayed the first day to see what happens if you fucked up the drinks, and the answer was nothing.
Nothing, yeah.
It does seem like you've mentioned a few scenes where stuff will change.
Yeah, there are scenes where you have to give somebody the wrong drink or intentionally get them drunk when you're not supposed to, that are a little iffy, and the game's not really good at signifying that stuff either.
Yeah.
And that's how you unlock some of the endings.
Yeah. That's rough.
Yeah.
I did notice in the Anna demo, the first time I was just totally fucking with her. I gave her non-alcoholic drinks 3 times, and on the third one she just goes, "You're treating me like a kid. I'm out of here." And it just had a totally different ending, so I had to replay the thing to actually get to the payoff of it.
Yeah.
So I'm almost is that why they didn't include it in the main game?
Yeah, it's hard to say. It's weird.
Yeah. But you really need to read that one if you want to understand a part that comes later.
Yeah, absolutely. I would say if you're going to go into that game, if you're going to go into that game blind from this point, just play the prologue and play the demo before you actually start the game.
The fact that it's called demo is also really weird. Like in the menu.
Right.
I was like, oh, I shouldn't play this. Like it scared me off actually.
Oh, yeah, because they kind of overstate how much that's going to actually play into what that game actually is when it's really just a visual novel.
So you should play the prologue and the demo before playing Valhalla.
Yep.
Okay, cool.
They're just in the game on the main menu in the top left now.
Yeah.
So, Polly, do you have anything else?
Nope.
I think we skipped over John.
I
think Polly is up next.
No, because we didn't do anything for John. We started with Polly. We did Higurashi. That's fine if you want to. No, I see what you. I see what you're doing,
John,
Red.
Jesus.
No, I think we'll do me now.
All right.
Okay.
We'll do John now.
Because, can I complain about something for a second?
Sure. Go ahead.
Yes.
This feels very on the nose for where things are at.
Mm-hmm.
But there's been a smell coming from my kitchen from the pipes for like a week.
Oh,
and
no.
I was like, I don't know what the smell is. And then I asked my friend, hey, do you know what the smell is? And we kind of brought them over. And they said, oh, that's sewage smell.
Oh,
and I was
good.
Like, oh, that's no good. And I just realized, like, 15 minutes ago, I can kind of smell it in my bedroom now. And I'm like, there's nothing leaking or anything. I looked under the sink.
Bad.
It sucks.
Have you had a lot of rain lately?
Maybe.
I mean, like, if you've had, like, perpetual downpour, I know that, like, that sort of wreaked a little havoc on our sewer system on Thursday, but then it was fine the next day, but...
Yeah. So I just put in a maintenance request, so hopefully that should get addressed.
Yeah, that sucks. Don't want no damn toilet up in your house. That'd be bad.
So I'm sitting here, and this is what 2020 has brought me now, is literally
shit.
Sewage.
Like, welcome. 2020 is literally just shit.
So this is my John actually feels bad energy.
Oh no. But, like, I would feel bad too if my house smelled like sewage. That's not fun.
That's not too strong. It's just like a light little extra. I'm gonna light a candle during the break, so I'll be better. Thank y'all for letting me complain on our podcast. I know that's great radio for everybody.
Obviously.
But you know what? Everything's okay. Because you know what, I do have some nice things to bring up.
You have nice things?
I started like 6 things without finishing any of them.
Isn't that kind of like just the vibe right now, though? That feels like it's so easy to fall right into that vibe.
Which, yeah, that is my I'm stressed out vibe. So I do not have the discipline to do any of the one game at a time lifestyle right now. So I've started like 6 things. I started Wonderful 101 because I backed that. It seems delightful so far. I'm really enjoying it. Which is a shame, because if I didn't like it, then I could say, you should turn 101 degrees and walk away.
John.
Yeah?
John, had you finished Resident Evil by the time we did the last podcast?
That was what I wanted to bring up. I did not finish Resident Evil. Because I started Wonderful 101, because I was like, I want more Capcom adjacent action.
Right.
And that's definitely what Kamiya stuff brings, and RE4, that game's real good, y'all.
That game is so fucking good.
I think I had
really good.
I was right at the start of the castle when we
did our
podcast, so I had a big chunk of video game left, and that game goes real hard. It's real good. Some highlights: the whole build up to the fight with Salazar, with Napoleon guy. They have this big sequence where you're like at a tower, and then you go into his tower leading up to his throne room, and there's like they have 2 of the the blind mini boss you fought earlier in the room, so it's like it feels very end gamey. You can fight your way through that, and then he drops you, and you have to do like this whole underground section, and when you finally do get to him, it feels very cool and climactic.
Right.
What's the name of Krauser? The Krauser boss on the island section.
Yeah.
That's just fucking
a real good fucking set piece moment.
It's a real good set piece moment, because it just uses like it's an opportunity to use every tool.
Yeah.
That you have, basically.
Yeah.
Because most of the bosses in that game we designed a special set piece where you have to. They're mostly very very easy and straightforward.
Yeah.
is what I found. It's like they knew that, hey, we have limited ammo. We're still a Resident Evil game.
Mm-hmm.
We don't. Let's make the boss fights like dramatic but very fair.
Yeah.
And to the point where, like, once you figure them out, they're all
very
pretty straightforward,
easy and pattern based.
Yeah. Krauser was like, and Krauser was that too, but Krauser was like, I have like 8 distinct phases of.
Yeah, it's a lot of QTE for one boss fight.
Well, there's QTE, but it's also just like the whole game. There's the place where you're like running around mazes.
Yeah.
There's a place where you fighting these drones as he'll jump around corners and surprise attack you in certain places. And then you have to have like tense shootouts with him.
Yep.
And then he flashbangs away. There's a section where he's sniping at you and you have to like shoot from behind cover. There's a section where you push a statue onto a switch to open a door.
Yeah.
Yes. It is very Resident Evil. It is the most. It feels Metal Gear Solid-y. It feels like a Metal Gear Solid set piece, but with Resident Evil vocabulary.
Yeah.
And I think that was definitely my favorite boss in that game. Was the Krauser fight, and the ending is very tense and excellent with a 3-minute timer. That I beat him and then had 1 second on the timer and then died. It was very funny.
Nice.
He like grows that arm. It's a rival fight where he's using a lot of the same guns as you. He's using a lot of the same items. So that's always good, but they do it so well there.
Yeah.
Climax is a little bit weak, right?
It's not
weak, right?
It's not super. It's not.
It's just kind of a one phase final boss.
Yeah.
And then
it's not going as hard as you'd think it would.
It's not going as hard considering like the Krauser fight and several other fights preceding it, and then the escape sequence has no enemies in it.
Yeah.
So it's like it's not like the Krauser fight. Every weapon you have is useful. Like I was using Magnum. I was using all my grenades. I was using everything you have is useful.
Mm-hmm.
The actual final boss, you shoot an eyeball and then jump on it, and then you do a QT to jump on it and stab it in the eye.
Which is literally just the Elegante fight again.
Yeah, exactly. And then you like use the contextual item to hit it with some girders, and then hit him with the contextual rocket launcher.
Yeah.
So it does not. I think that would have come across better if they'd had like a beefier escape sequence where you actually given the opportunity to use all these tools you hoarded for the whole game.
Mm-hmm.
So a little weak. I think Devil May Cry like that. Not at the climax. You know.
Yeah, absolutely.
What's the name of the last boss?
In
Sadler.
Sadler. Yeah.
Oh,
Sadler.
I think a lot of the problem they run into is that Sadler is just kind of boring as a character.
Yeah,
especially in a game that has Salazar and Krauser in it.
Yeah.
And those are such good kind of climaxes to them.
Yeah.
He kills Lewis. So you have a relationship with him.
Yeah.
But it's not a lot.
No.
And then he just kind of turns into a big monster, and it's not even like a particularly impressive big monster.
No, it's just like, okay, you made a video game monster. That is a boss that would be in Final Fantasy X.
Versus, as far as Resident Evil successors, Devil May Cry's climax, where they have a fucking space harrier fight, and then a really good boss fight, and there's a rival fight before that, and then there's an escape sequence where you actually have to fight enemies, and the boss attacks you one more time for a third phase.
Yep.
And you have an escape sequence on top, a vehicle escape sequence. Like, as far as escaping islands go with Lady in Stowe, like, I feel like Devil May Cry does.
Devil May Cry kind of got that
a little bit better.
That one a little better.
Did DMC come out like a year or two earlier?
It came out significantly earlier.
Yeah, it was like 2001.
Okay, I never had a PS2, so I wasn't sure.
So
I'm
comparing
there's ending the Bayonetta.
Oh yeah, I'm comparing all of these in my brain. I'm comparing all the Mikami and Kamiya stuff. It's all just going into the Capcom file of, all right, how do these fit together? I think Devil May Cry 1 might still be my favorite.
The DMC one has
ridiculous.
So good. It's such a fucking fantastic climax.
So good. It goes so hard, and I love the rest of the game too. And it's not too long, but it doesn't feel that short either. I really like Devil May Cry 1. I like it a little bit more than Bayonetta, and maybe a little bit more than Resident Evil 4. I don't know where Resident Evil. Probably like Resident Evil 4 more than Bayonetta because it has more of that Resident Evil energy.
Yeah.
And I think I like Devil May Cry more than Resident Evil 2 though, because it's got a little. Resident Evil 2 is too much Resident Evil energy compared to Devil May Cry. You know, it all fits together.
I get where you're going.
I mean, you're comparing like some of the greatest games of all time, so it's like it's like fine.
Yeah, like there's literally nothing.
Children.
There's nothing wrong here. I just can't pick a favorite child. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
No,
it's rough.
It's Devil May Cry 1. That's my favorite child. But these other children are great. I love Devil May Cry 3. I love Resident Evil 4. I love Bayonetta. I mean, now that I've got my Wii and PS2 and Dreamcast all set up, I can jump in with like several other Resident Evils whenever I want now, which is nice. I can jump in with the remake.
In 2 weeks from now, you'll be like, I definitely do not love Code Veronica.
That's so funny because again, I had that friend who was like, I hate Code Veronica. I ran out of resources.
I know a lot of people that don't like Code Veronica because Code Veronica is hard.
Okay, so it is a hard one.
I think it's a hard video game.
Mm-hmm. Oh, okay.
Because
I think people seem to hate the cheese in that one.
Yeah, like of all of the Resident Evil cheese that kind of gets bashed, it's like why is one beloved and why is one just kind of shit on? Like, and like Code Veronica just kind of gets shit on for its cheese. It's like, yeah, okay, it's got cheese, it's got bad voice acting, but it's fucking Resident Evil. What is your problem? And this game came out at a time when Resident Evil was still bad voice acting and like really silly plots.
Yeah.
And then it got to RE4 where it was all kind of nailed down perfectly.
All serious from there on out.
Oh yeah.
Oh my god, RE4's cheese is so on point.
They have
it's
so like
good.
it's so,
they have so much fun.
That is a game that knows how fucking funny it is, and
it's so funny.
Runs with it.
It's so funny, like and then when they exploded, like when that guy explodes into the centipede monster in the burning barn, it's still like this is a little scary. Oh shit!
It's a little icky, a
little bit icky. Yeah, right.
I think that game just manages tone incredibly well because like. I think a lot of people just remember it as the village section, but then you get to the castle and it's a little scary. But then Salazar is also goofy as shit.
Yes.
But then you have like are they regenerators?
Yeah.
Oh my god,
they fucking suck. I hate them. They're scary.
They're like
so scary.
Like if there is a scary enemy in the game, it's the regenerators.
And then they
look
a little bit goofy, which like softens it. But then like 2 rooms later, they have so instead of looking like smooth Ken dolls, they're covered in spikes and they run up and try to impale you, and now they look awful. So now on top of everything, and you have to shoot them from both sides, and it's the worst. I figured out.
So it's like that game just has
one on the back.
It has action and horror and humor, and like it blends them all shockingly well.
Yeah, this is one of my favorite like periods of dev. I think it's just this sort of Zero's Capcom action, epic action.
Oh
style. Because it's just it's got all these nice lessons from like arcadey stuff, but with this budget, but it doesn't feel like compromised by the scale of the production like some other stuff does.
Like this is a game that got to be everything it wanted to be. I don't feel this is a game that got told no at any point,
which is amazing.
Yeah.
I mean,
and it's like 15 plus hours long. It feels so epic, and the fact that it maintains so much energy for that whole game is amazing. I fucking love Resident Evil 4. That was a great time.
This is why I'm kind of scared of them remaking it, because there's so much in that game. Like, it's not just the village or the castle. Like, there's still many more areas after that. It's just like, you guys had to kind of trim Resident Evil 2, and that's already a much smaller game.
It's already like a 5-hour game.
Like I don't. This game is not. This game in no way needs a remake. This game is 100% fine as is. And
so it's like, are you guys just gonna like? I think. Could you imagine if they Final Fantasy VII it and just did the village or something?
Like they're gonna
and then stretched it out.
They're gonna rip all the character out of that game, because like as much as I like the RE2 remake, it's so dry and serious. It took a lot of that charm that original game had, and just sucked it out. What it created is fine. RE2 Remake is fantastic. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But it is bone fucking dry and straight-laced as shit.
Yeah. And then the second loop stuff, like...
Yeah.
Might have been better not there than in there.
Yeah.
So I have no idea what they could be doing with that. And
like I'm just hoping it's not true. That's all I can do at this point. It's like we don't fucking need a remake. It just
do Code Veronica. Just Code Veronica.
Exactly. Like if you want another stab at something, people say that Code Veronica's bad. Okay, go make the good Code Veronica then. If people say that that's the bad one.
People said RE3 was bad.
Yeah. I'm not hearing great about that remake.
Yeah,
I'm not hearing a lot of great stuff about the RE3 remake.
I was talking about the original too.
Yeah. Not a lot of praise for that one either.
Mm-hmm. So I'm excited for whatever they're doing next, but whatever they're doing now, it's very separate from from the things that I'm interested in.
Yeah.
Which is like probably more like God Hand Vanquish. More Wonderful 101. That's sort of the tail end.
Mm.
Yeah, right.
Played Vanquish?
I haven't played Vanquish. I'm excited. They did a re-release. I haven't played. I played very little Mikami stuff. I've played more Kamiya. So I'm jazzed. One other thing I wanted to bring up.
Sure.
This is sort of a game design thing.
Mm-hmm.
So did y'all see? Did y'all see that fucking Sudoku meme make the rounds?
Yeah.
There was a Sudoku that got passed. It was a video of a guy solving a Sudoku.
Mm-hmm.
It was like a 30-minute video,
mm-hmm.
and it was a Sudoku with 2 given digits. Just 2, which is mathematically impossible for a normal Sudoku.
Yeah.
But it had a couple extra rules, which is that digits could not be a king's move away from each other. So if you have a 1, then you can't have a 1 right next to it, even if it's in another cell in row. Like even like that. They can't be a knight's move away from each other. With me so far?
I'm with you.
And they couldn't.
Are you Polly? Because Polly doesn't know chess, so I don't know.
Okay, and they could 2 consecutive digits couldn't be right next to each other orthogonally, which is the opposite of diagonally. I have to look up. So a 2 can't be right next to a 1. A 3 can't be right next to a 2 or a 4.
Or a 4.
There you go.
So left, right, up, down.
Left, right, up, down.
Okay.
So I saw this and I was like, okay, this looks like a juicy puzzle. And I wrote it down and I took 3 days and I actually figured it out and I felt very proud of myself.
Nice.
I have been violently anti-Sudoku online, publicly.
Yes. Yeah.
Violently
anti-Sudoku. More so anti-Picross. Because I think Picross is even dumber.
Mm-hmm.
Somehow. I think it's because Picross... we'll get to that. Basically, my statement was that once you understand the basic rules and logic of Sudoku, once you've solved like 20 of them, there isn't any point to doing more. You're just jerking off.
Yeah, basically.
That was what I was thinking. So this was Cracking the Cryptic, was the YouTube channel, and I solved that puzzle, and then I watched that one, and then I watched several other things and saw a puzzle, and I was like, fucking Zach in the chat going, Picross is the best puzzle game.
Isn't that his shtick, though, to just be as contradictory as possible?
It's fine. I think Zach specifically does this about Picross when I bring it up.
Right.
So I kept seeing puzzles on this, and I was like, oh shit, that's a nice twist on Sudoku rules. That's making me think about it in different ways. And I kept watching the videos after trying the puzzles, and the way that these 2 dudes talk about the puzzles, I made a couple realizations, and that's that a hard Sudoku isn't just one where you have to ultimately like copy down the board and guess, and then solve to see if you it contradicts itself. He calls that bifurcation. One of them calls it bifurcation, and generally he never does that. He never does that because these are these are puzzles made by humans, and they're designed to be solved with logic and not require guesswork. So sometimes those require like more sophisticated techniques, but he tries to solve everything with logic. And I was like, oh, so Sudoku puzzles aren't just kind of randomly generated by a computer, and sometimes they're just bullshit, and that's what being a hard Sudoku means, where you just have to tediously copy it down and then solve it and then see, oh, nope, that didn't work, so I guess that was wrong. But they're actually like logic puzzles intentionally crafted by people. And once I kind of made that realization, I was able to see like there's actually like some craft to making these, even the ones that don't have the weird fancy rules, although those are still my favorite. But there's such a thing as like a good Sudoku. And that was like a really cool realization for me to have. And so I've just kept thinking through like doing these puzzles, and I downloaded the 3 apps. They have a thermal Sudoku, sandwich Sudoku, in which there are digits along the edges, kind of like Picross, that
I like the sandwich part.
Yeah, I like sandwiches too. Where they say the digits between 1 and 9 in this row or column add up to this number. So if it's 35, then you know that 1 and 9 are at the opposite ends of the row or column, because all from the digits from 2 to 8 add up to 35.
Right.
But if it's 0, then you know they're right next to each other, and then from there in the middle there's a little more wiggle room. So I solved a bunch of those. And then there's Thermo Sudoku, which is they draw a bunch of little thermometers on the board, and starting at the bulb of the thermometer, the numbers must get higher as they go along, in addition to all normal Sudoku rules. And then they have a chess Sudoku app, which is the same thing, except they can't be a knight Sudoku. Knights move away from each other. So I'm just like playing these, and I've solved like 50 of these in the last month. And I'm just like, oh shit. I kind of get like puzzles and what I kind of always liked about these things. And it's not that it doesn't have to be jerking off. Like, these are differentiated. And it made me think about like Sokoban puzzles, and it made me think about like all other kinds of logic puzzles that I like, and it made me excited about the idea of like doing more puzzle design, or like maybe doing paper puzzle design. Because I made logic puzzles and shit as a kid. I would draw mazes, I'd draw word searches, and then I'd actually like make logic puzzles. And I just haven't thought about puzzle design seriously, basically. I even got to one in RE4 where I actually like put it on pen and paper, and I was like, I know it was the one where you're flipping around portraits to get them adding up to the right number. Yeah. And I was like, I know I can guess this, but I'm just gonna actually like solve it without.
Yeah, I solved that. Yeah, I didn't.
And I was
puzzle
like,
it.
That's the funny thing, is that I did play Helltaker and got my ass kicked, and like Ted
that's
had at least
so weird to me.
And had at least one puzzle that took me like, word searches are still bullshit, obviously. But I like one puzzle that I took like 3 days on. Like every day I came back to it for like 10 or 15 minutes. Like,
God,
what the fuck? It was number 9.
I know that puzzle took me a while,
but I just did not see the way forward. I was like, there's like 40 steps in there, and I was just like, every step, like, all right, I have to do this, because if I make this move, I can't solve it. I have to, and I reasoned it out for every step, and then I still got to the end and couldn't do it. And I was like, what the fuck is this? And the solution was very satisfying. I was like,
with that game.
Yeah, Rhett?
With that game, I knew to not keep trying to do the same thing, because that's how I would get stuck in Bodies U, is like thinking something had to be done a certain way. So there's one puzzle where I just tried like 5 different openings and kept rotating them until I eventually figured out, oh, this is the one that actually works.
I was trying to be like logical, like I'll rule this out. I've solved that. Now what? So the answer is within this possibility space, and then I continuously narrow that possibility space until there was none left. Yeah. And I only had.
It's just if you think something is required, you think you've narrowed it down, and you're wrong, you are so fucked. That's
puzzles.
You got to be real careful doing that stuff.
Yep.
Yeah. So I did pull out an old Sokoban prototype I did in puzzle script for a specific gimmick, and I was like, okay, this is nice, and it's a little bit horny, so I was like, this fits the mood. The zeitgeist, the hell ticker zeitgeist.
Yep.
So it's still continuing on my Twitter feed to this moment.
I'm okay with this. I'm okay with this.
It is a good vibe.
Yeah.
That ending was very cute, by the way, Paul.
Thank you for recommending.
Thank you for getting all of us to play Helltaker.
I was surprised. Like the next day, 7 people have played Helltaker for the first time. Popped up on my Steam list.
I mean, it's free and an hour long. You can't ask for much more.
I'm not asking you to make a hard commitment here, and you can skip the fucking puzzles if you want.
I did that a couple. I skipped episode 9 and just jumped in. I want to see the ending. And then I did it a little bit, and then I was like, no, I don't want to. I want to solve it.
No.
I don't want to be a baby.
That's like me trying to not actually play through and finish Xenosaga Saga episode 2 back in the day. Literally watching, going to watch as much of it on YouTube as I could. No, I gotta go play it.
God, that's funny. So yeah, this is just kind of made me excited about puzzles again in a way, which is very cool and what's actually fun, which is logic, which is figuring out rules and then applying them and then thinking through it thoughtfully and then having this grid. There's that Zelda Sudoku that got passed around, which is very cute.
I watched somebody stream solve that, and it was really, really fun.
It's so cute. I played a chunk of it, and I was like, you get to the Shadow Temple, and the gimmick is that some of the clues on this board are lies.
Yep.
Oh, jeez.
Right?
That's so cool.
So I've seen more puzzles like that. They're like, oh, this is a Sudoku, where some of the clues are X number of the clues are lies according to these rules, and you just have to oh fuck, oh yes,
this is the shit.
That was the other thing, is that there are an infinity number of variations of new kinds of puzzles. I don't just have to solve Sudokus over and over. I can solve all these other variations and new puzzles. I did a bunch of star battles, which are this cool puzzle, and then somebody linked me another puzzle, and then I found a site that made computer generated ones, and then I solved them a little bit, and then I upped it to hard, and then I was like, I don't think this is actually logicked out. I think this is the computer made some bullshit for me.
Oh,
I don't like this.
The computer regurgitated, and this is your meal for the day. Enjoy.
Yeah, they're cracking the cryptic apps. They're very specific. It's only 50 puzzles total.
Yeah.
On these $5 apps.
Yeah.
And they're all hand tested, and I think they even have a hint feature where at any point when you're stuck, they will give you the next step as a hint, and then explain the logic of it.
That's cute.
So, I don't know. So yeah, Polly. I think Polly's been, what's the word for lying about being bad at something? To grit, not grift. Hustling. I think Polly's been hustling us about puzzles this whole time.
Hustle.
Because she finished Helltaker, which is obviously an impossibly hard.
It's very difficult. It's literally no human being can do it.
And then
it was trickier than I expected.
Yeah.
Then he solved that Resident Evil 4 puzzle on paper, which took me 20 minutes. So I was just I want to solve this.
Well, that was just me back in the day. It was literally I know this is very much something you could just fucking guess at and get it. But I just wanted to. I was very into that game and doing everything I could to get as much out of it as I could. So that was why that is why I puzzled that out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I think Polly might be hustling us about puzzles.
And I puzzled out Helltaker because it's sexy.
That's true. So I think you might just need the right motivation.
I just need the right motivation.
Yeah. Or horny.
If Bob was you who had cute anime girls.
Yep.
So that's been my exciting puzzle journey into the world of weird Sudoku.
That's, I knew the Sudoku was getting real weird.
Yeah, right?
Does this feel different than when you play something like TIS 100? Because these have singular true solutions where that's more complex.
Yeah, Shenzhen IO. Zachtronics games are are more like programming, where it's more like you're solving a problem, and it's a little similar, but it's not.
There's still logic.
Yeah.
But
when you solve a Sudoku, you've beaten it completely, basically. But with a Zachtronics puzzle, it's like, I could have done that more efficiently.
Yeah, that's what I thought was really interesting when I played Infinite Minor, or whichever one I played, Infinite
Factory
or something.
Infinite
Factory, that's the one. Where it's like, you can logic it out and figure it out a way of doing it, but then you see the stats at the end. It's like, oh, people solve this way faster or with significantly less steps. So
and
they don't have the one true solution.
And there is a whole big part of the Sudoku community which is about speed solving, which is about, okay, obviously we can all solve all of these puzzles effortlessly.
Right.
We're all mega super big brain geniuses. There's one where he's like, now this is an insanely hard puzzle because one of our testers, who's one of the top speed solvers in the world, it took him 19 minutes to solve this puzzle, which you should know is absurd.
Right.
So there is that extra level beyond just being able to understand the logic and solve it. It's like being able to process it quickly.
Yeah.
I only want to do Sudoku.
That still wows me because you only get one shot on those.
Yes, true.
See, I only
once you've done them, it's like...
Yeah, Polly?
I only want to do Sudoku if it's saving a cute girl from an incinerator. That is the only time I'm ever doing Sudoku. So
yeah, and in the past, you did in fact face that scenario, and then you did not do the Sudoku.
I did not do the puzzle myself. No, I let Rhett do that.
I get a DM. Nice. He goes, "Do you know how to do Sudoku?" And I'm like, "Yeah."
I just made him do it. I was just like, "Fuck it, I'm not doing it."
And then, 10 minutes later, I get to that part of the game.
It's literally not even a hard one.
And then they took it out.
And replaced it with a worse puzzle.
John does the Sudoku to incinerate the girl faster, says Chad.
Oh my god.
That's very funny. So yeah, I think I will keep that in mind if I make puzzle games. It's okay. How can we make this horny? Because that does seem to help.
That can help. Absolutely.
It helped. It powered me through Helltaker.
Exactly.
I was like, yeah, I want to do this. I like at any given time, I have a wealth of good puzzle script games. Puzzle script games I can play, but I'm not usually in the mood for raw Sokoban energy.
Yeah.
Just kind of uncut Sokoban up in me.
I need Sokoban cut with the right amount of horny.
With the right amount of horny.
Yeah.
Which is how I've been making them, so. All right, I'm done. That was my Sudoku hour.
How about a 5-minute break?
Sure.
And then we will come back.
We don't really have anything else, right?
Nah. I think Rhett said he had something, and then we're going to get out of here,
I think
probably.
Round 2 will be a little quicker.
I don't actually
or maybe
have
not.
anything else.
Well,
Then why did you... Okay.
I don't know.
I'm muting everybody now.
Dum dee dum dee dee dum dee dum doo dum doo dum dee dee da 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 dee dum dee doo doo dee doo doo dee doo. All together now. Dum dee dum dee dum dee dum doo dum dee da 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 dee dum dee doo doo dee doo doo dee doo. All together now. Dum dee dum dee dum doo dum dee da 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 dee dum dee doo doo dee doo doo dee doo. All together now. Dum dee dum dee dum dee dum doo dum do dum dum dee da 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 dee dum dee do do dee do do dee do. All together now. Dum dee dum dee dee dum dee dum do dum do dum dum dee da 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 dee dum dee do do dee do do dee do. All together now. Dum dee dum dee dum dee dum do dum do dum dee da 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 dee dum dee do do dee do do dee do. All together now. Dum dee dum dee dum dee dum do dum do dum dee da 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 dee dum dee do do dee do do dee do. All together now. Dum dee dum dee dum dee dum do dum do dum dee da 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 dee dum dee do do dee do do dee do. All together now. Dum dee dum dee dum dee dum do dum do dum dee da 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 dee dum dee do do dee do do dee do. All together now. Dum dee dum dee dum dee dum do dum do dum dee da 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 dee dum
What?
dum dee do
What?
do
What?
What? Huh?
dee
What?
do
Huh?
do
What?
dee.
What?
I don't
What?
know. I don't know. What's up?
Podcast energy.
Yeah! Woo! So much energy.
That was
What?
almost a 2-hour first block.
Wow. Oh yeah,
I
like
know,
we've been.
right?
How did that happen?
You talked about Higurashi for like over an hour.
Oh shit! I'm sorry.
No, that's fine. That was a good because that's something that means a lot to all of us.
Yeah, like I think it's like if a segment is gonna go long, that's probably the one.
Obviously, I don't think it should go that long for the next 7 weeks, but
it probably won't.
Yeah.
It probably I don't know that if I'll even be mentioning them. I mean, obviously, what else do I say other than I mean, how do you? Yeah, I'm gonna be playing and streaming the rest of them, but I can't sit here and try and talk about all of them. I don't want to spoil it. It's obvious that it's going to be a big project going forward, but it's not something that I need to talk about every episode.
Yeah. Is this something people can hear right now?
Yeah. They are listening.
No, I was just curious. There's just one thing in the Higurashi thing that I didn't get in is when you're talking about how you just want them to talk to each other.
Mm-hmm.
And that was something that still stuck out to me in the anime is how when Rina is being very scary, she's still saying very nice things.
And I think that's kind of a clue. But we'll see going forward. Maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It was so sad because you're like, Keiichi, come on.
Come on, man. Wump, wump, wump. That's the sound of a ball bat. Wump,
but then...
Wump, wump. There goes a broken arm. Wump, wump, wump. Oh no,
God.
Your head is caved in.
Oh my god, I can't deal with it. I can't do it. I love Higurashi so much. I was very on board with that very long segment, by the way. I was so happy to talk about that at length. I love Higurashi.
I did not know that the segment went that long. Well, it'll be there in the archive if you missed it, obviously.
Mm-hmm. I'm glad we got to talk about Sudoku. That was obviously very important.
I mean, yeah, I'm glad we got to talk about something we actually care about this episode.
There we go.
So we ready to get out of here then?
Yeah, that's basically it. Polly.
All right, I want to thank everybody.
Anything else?
I mean,
it.
Other than getting ready for this podcast, I don't know. Okay, okay, you got me. You got me. I played through Mighty Number 9 again.
Oh, actually, you did.
I actually did.
What? No. Oh, Rhett. No, Rhett was fucking with me too. Good job. Rhett joining in.
Literally today I played Mighty Number 9.
Yeah, this isn't a goof. I forgot about this.
I'm not shitting you. I literally played. I've even got proof. I am. Don't worry. I'm getting on your Steam page now.
Oh, we said nothing about Steam.
Yeah, you played the.
This won't fly really well with audio, obviously, but...
Is that what you call taking a dump now?
Is that what you call it?
I replayed Mighty Number 9 today.
I replayed Mighty Number 9.
Yes.
Alright, here. I played Mighty Number 9. I am not bullshitting anybody.
I see.
Yeah. But
I'm satisfied with this resolution.
Yeah. But I don't think I really did anything else though, so I guess we can go ahead and start wrapping up. John, where can the internet people find you?
Wait a minute.
What?
I still have more stuff to talk about.
Oh,
you're not just skipping your thing. You're skipping me entirely.
All right. Rhett, what did you do?
I played... Motherfucker. I've been playing the Wonderful 101.
Oh, hey. Tell us a bit about the Wonderful 101. Which John has been too.
Well, yeah, I'm up for talking a little bit about that.
Yeah, let's talk a little bit about the Wonderful 101.
No spoilers.
So, where are you, John? Like mission-wise?
Chapter 2. I needed to... I was like, I'm ready to Higurashi.
I noticed the thing where both of us got a couple missions in and then started playing other things. And I was like,
It's a little telling. The missions are really long, Rhett.
They're really long.
Really long.
They're weirdly long. The pacing kind of reminds me of Beautiful Joe, but like maybe even more extreme.
Oh,
where it's just like I don't know how many missions there are, but it could be as low as like 6, I think. But they're very long.
Better about it. If there aren't a trillion, if there aren't a lot of these, because the missions, the individual missions are like 20 minutes, 25 minutes long.
Yeah,
it's a lot.
But then like they're like 3 acts each, so they end up being like an hour. And I think when it says 20 minutes, it's just counting in-game time. It's like all the cutscenes. I don't because I replayed one of them and I looked at the clock and I beat it like 20 minutes later, and it was like, you played 12 minutes. I was like, okay, I see what you're doing here. You're not counting cutscenes.
Okay.
I think that game is good, but it is conceptually flawed. Like I just can't get into that viewpoint, like the angle that it plays at.
You brought that up, and I was a little kind of confused because I was like, well, it seems to be communicating everything. Like I can see the enemy tells.
I'm kind of with Red on this one. Like I played this game a little way back, and this game did not jive with me camera-wise at all. I do not like the viewpoint.
Weird, because it seems like it's like as communicative as it could be, basically. I'm not saying you're all wrong. I'm just kind of confused.
Yeah.
Trying to parse
There's just something about it that is just strange to me. Like it feels like it has no depth in the image. It's just like
that's my problem.
It's just at this awkward 45-degree angle, and everything looks kind of flat for some reason. And like the camera, because the characters are super tiny, but the environments are super large, it always feels like it's zoomed in and zoomed out too much at the same time.
Yeah.
where it's like either it's zoomed out and I can see everything, but then I can't see the individual characters like at all. Specifically, the one you're controlling obviously is the most important because they have the little circle around them, which like immediately gets lost when it's really hectic. Or the camera is like zoomed in and the environments like between enemy encounters, I have like no idea which way to go. And that's kind of a minor thing.
No,
I
get that. Whenever it zooms in like that, I'm like, I'll actually like go into the like changing modes that it'll zoom out and show me the whole environment.
It's weird. It's like because you have no manual camera control. Like, running around between missions, it's too close. Like because the environments are so kind of overscaled to make everybody fit. Because it's like how in Xenoblade, like everything is just obscenely huge.
Yeah,
the train in the first mission is very funny. Where like it's
god, yeah,
that's
the school bus is like
where every train car is like an auditorium.
Yeah.
Like I just immediately accepted that as like part of the setting. Like, hey, this is a very silly train.
That one's definitely kind of cheesy, but I think in general, like everything is just huge, but still feels small in a weird way. I don't know. But like for the first couple missions, I definitely actually had a lot of trouble still seeing enemy tells. And I think for some reason, I think part of my problem is that the block I think has a delay on it because it takes like a split second for your characters to kind of form up into that shape and actually deflect the attack. Whereas the dodge, I think you get invincibility frames like instantly. That one feels just much more responsive than the block does.
By the block, you get that big, strong response. Really good.
When the block works, it's fine, but it's like either I'm blocking and it turns out to be an attack that you can't block, you have to dodge, or there's some enemies later on that will like wind up an attack almost like in a Dark Souls way where they'll wind up a little bit longer than they think you think they're going to.
I totally get that.
So that they hit you after your shield has worn off. And it's like, oh, you motherfucker. That's always fun.
The timing there is... I enjoy parsing that. Like, Luca does that sometimes, where there's a couple enemies where they have, like, extra long wind-up animations, and it's just made to fuck with you.
Yeah.
Did you fight a character who gives you, like, a big, long monologue at the start, and then...
Yep.
Yeah, okay. Fun. His fight is interesting because he just has like 100 of his own goons to make the same shapes you're doing. So it's like a mirror fight, which, these games always do. Yeah. But like, it's so chaotic when you have 200 characters on screen, both drawing shapes to make weapons. It's just nonsense. Like, I can imagine, I've seen people talk about, like, if you're not the one playing, it just looks like nothing is happening.
Absolute chaos. I watched a Chip Cheesem LP of this game back in the day, and the dude's really good at making these games make sense, and even that shit is just absolute chaos.
Yeah. I will say some things I do like about the game. I actually really like drawing the shapes. Like, I don't have any trouble doing the actual movements, and I think...
It's very easy with the stick for me.
Yeah. Yeah. Apparently the stick was in the Wii U version. You didn't have to actually draw on the screen.
Oh, weird.
And I
wonder how I missed that.
Yeah. I think the fact that... Because I did watch a little video on, like, praising this game before it came out, and, like, the fact that
watched switching... the same video.
Yeah. The fact that switching weapons is a mechanic is interesting, because in other games it's just a button press, or even worse, going to a menu.
Yeah.
And the fact that, like, the way you draw the shape and how big it is determines how many of your units go into it, which determines
I didn't
how strong
parse
it
that.
is.
I was just thought... I didn't know. I didn't know that.
You want to draw it as big as possible.
Yeah.
Definitely.
No. Okay, that makes sense.
Like, basically, you draw it as big as possible, and you get, like, 10 seconds with everyone in it, and then it goes back to, like, kind of the smallest possible one afterwards, and you will see your damage drop off, like, dramatically. So, you actually want to keep drawing it over and over as big as possible. Once you get the whip, I think the whip is, like, kind of the best multi-use weapon, and it's very easy to draw as well. Because you just do kind of anything to draw. It's just a squiggle. So it's like, if it doesn't recognize any of the other shapes, it basically goes, that's probably the whip.
Yeah.
Yeah, it seems pretty good about recognizing them for me so far.
Yeah, but in general, there's one, the hammer, I had trouble with at the start because I didn't realize I was, like, doing it wrong. Because it's a line and then a circle. So you have to kind of go up and then left.
I kept dying on a quick time event with the gun because wasn't drawing it big enough. I was like, it's the gun. Recognize it as the gun. Come on.
Yeah.
But there are no consequences to those, so it was fine.
Even in like the cinematic moments, like the bigger you draw the shape, you'll get more points for it. The bigger ones.
That's funny. Cool.
Because that's why, like, you start every mission with kind of your default units, and then you pick more up as you go through. So, like, once you hit that 100, like, and you can draw it as big as possible, like, you get much stronger. Like,
cool. Yeah, I love that vibe. I parsed that much out. It was like, okay, I'm getting stronger, and it feels good.
But yeah, there's.
Go ahead.
There's just a lot of systems up front, and it's all kind of weird and confusing.
My basic arc with it was I'm okay with the camera so far. So my arc with it has been like I needed to play this for 90 minutes until I could parse the parts that was just Devil May Cry Bayonetta.
Yeah.
I was like I played it for 90 minutes and then I figured it out what was weird and different about it, and now okay, cool. Now I'm playing more Devil May Cry Bayonetta.
And
so now
that you want to play more Devil May Cry Bayonetta.
I really like that. It's just that the missions are very long.
They're very long. I think that is I think that might be kind of the part of the problem with this game is like
if maybe the missions were more bite-sized and kind of broken up and segmented a little more, it might feel a little less exhausting.
A little bit more varied, a little more weird stuff, a little more like Devil May Cry 1, the best game.
Yeah.
That all games should aspire to be.
That all games should aspire to be.
There was definitely one part in one mission, like 3-2 or something, where it's like it was just a bunch of regular enemy encounters and like none of the big cinematic stuff. And like after 20 minutes of that, I was just like, yeah, this is kind of exhausting right now. You know, give me the good shit. Because I think
give me that
Kamiya,
because that Act 1 finale was like, okay, I'm on board.
God, that shit's crazy.
And then it does the big Kamiya set piece. I did cry during the prologue a little bit because it just had a lot of Sentai.
You're the
Sentai energy.
You're the 101st hero.
I'm the 101st hero. Thank you. I needed to hear that. Hear that right now.
The end of that first chapter made me go, I can't believe Bayonetta 2 is not the craziest game Platinum made on the Wii U. But now that I'm further into this, I'm like actually back on the Bayonetta 2 side of being the crazier game, which is fine because those games are insane.
Those games are nuts. Appropriate.
Yeah,
but the fact that they made two of them on the same system is still a lot.
Yeah.
So I'm very excited. I'm still on board. I'm just like, okay, this is a much longer, more spread out game. Yeah. And that is a little more distant from what I really love about some of these games. So I'm going to just accept that this is a good example of that Like, I haven't hit any parts that feel like filler. Like, it feels like it is what it wants to be. It's just that as a taste thing, I don't like that as much. I like but Devil May Cry is full of like 3-minute missions.
Yeah, like they're all kind of it's compartmentalized very well.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember the missions in Bayonetta 2 being like really short, even compared to the first game.
Yeah.
So this being like such a total opposite is kind of weird.
Which is weird because I think I did remember hearing people complain about the length, which is it feels so epic already. So I'm just like. Yeah.
Well, I don't know if it ends up being like the 6 missions and they're all about an hour each. I can see that actually end up being a little short.
I get that.
I think mission 3 started to lose me a bit, and then mission 4 kind of got me back on board.
How long to beat says like 17 hours. Like I think it's long. I don't think it's going to be just 6 missions. Yeah. I think that also is kind of what got my momentum trimmed down a little bit. I was like, I am not anywhere near the end for this, and I really want to play Higurashi.
Yeah. Okay, so I have no idea how long this is then, obviously. I've also heard that like the second playthrough is the good one because you have I really don't like the shop in this.
Oh no.
I've realized something about Kamiya games that I just fucking hate.
Shop. The shop. Fucking shop where they lock away all the cool shit.
Yeah.
All the cool shit's locked away. All the cool shit is insanely expensive.
When I was playing Devil May Cry 5, that was something that was just like, no, I've got to buy, because it's, I was not feeling that at all, and it was just like, it was such a detriment to wanting to play that game.
I remember playing Bayonetta on PC and then restarting it or replaying it on Switch, and then seeing the shop have to start over and being like, "Oh, right." And there was one specific move. I was like, "I'm buying this one first because I know it's good." And I didn't buy it till like the last mission on my original playthrough, and I was like, "Now it's the first thing I'm buying."
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I think
it's very distant from the kind of the cool arcade vibe.
Yeah.
You know,
there's that, and I think there's just something more fun about skill trees for some reason. Because, like, I don't know. I think it's just, like, seeing everything in the shop at once and then seeing, like, one of the things you want be, like, 900,000 points. That is, like, ridiculous.
Yeah, it's like you start up every Devil May Cry game you start up, it's just like, okay, well, immediately out of the gate, I want double jump. Oh, it's 50,000 orbs. Fantastic.
Yeah. Like... I thought Wonderful 101 felt like really bad to play until I got the battery charger thing. Right. That makes it charge like twice as fast. And that's like, oh, now I can actually do the big, drawings and not like complete. I was like, for mission like 1 and 2, I was like completely running out of battery after like constantly. And it was just,
this is why that fucking Spike guy was taking me like 5 minutes to kill, is because I was drawing the tiny whip and attacking with the tiny whip. And if I draw the big fucking whip, then I can do a lot more damage. I knew I was missing something. Where I was like, this enemy shouldn't take me 5 minutes to kill.
Yeah. No.
So that item also hurt my momentum a little bit.
I was at the point where I was having the opposite problem, where I knew to draw the big weapon, but every time I did, it would use a couple battery charges, and then they weren't recharging as fast as it would take to wear off.
This is really funny because I like. It seems like I never run out of battery. That's weird.
That's great.
So that's why that's going to make things easier. I think that's going to
make it's really silly though, because ever since I bought the battery upgrade, like to make it charge twice as fast, I never run out anymore either. And I'll just be like drawing the big weapon, doing 2 attacks, drawing it again, doing 2 attacks.
Yeah,
like,
which is a little weird.
I mean,
it's kind of not that encouraging that.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah.
I like that there was a very light Resident Evil puzzle in the first level, where it's like it didn't trigger the second screen for me the first time, or I turned it off. So I was like, I actually figured it out by like walking outside the building and seeing the numbers, and I was like, oh shit, I see. But then the second time I went through the mission, it did trigger the second screen, and I was like,
it just shows you the answer.
And it just shows you the answer, and I was like, oh okay. Basically every time the second screen would matter, it just pops it up for you. Yeah. Like aside from this one thing, I haven't had any issues with it.
I mean, yeah, that's the detriment of being a Wii U game, but like that stuff is actually super minimal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think maybe we were both a little disappointed because we both watched the Mathematos video, and he was like, "This is my favorite game of all time."
I didn't realize. I actually didn't realize it was that high on it.
He's very high on that game. And I respect his takes on this a lot. I rewatched his DMC playthrough like a month ago.
Yeah.
I'm not actually like super disappointed just because I've never actually been super hardcore into that genre in general. Like, I like Bayonetta, but that's, like, entirely for the nonsense and cinematics and not, like, the actual technical gameplay part that I don't actually care about.
Obviously, the best ones are Luca and Mega Man Zero.
There you go. That's all you need in your life.
Yeah.
Mega Man Zero is a very good Devil May Cry.
It really is.
Just everything about that structure, especially in the first one where the missions are all very short and super
very hard. Yeah.
Very short, very hard, and also like completely different. Where like this one doesn't have a boss. This one has a boss at the start of the mission, and then the rest of the mission is optional. But if you don't do it, then you don't save these characters. It's so good.
Yeah,
I haven't played that game like since it came out, so I don't remember anything other than
it's a very satisfying A rank playthrough.
I don't actually do okay on the ranks in this, but it's like, oh, you took 1 hit. Participation. It's brutal.
Yeah.
Well, it's not 1 hit. It's like 1 continue, right?
Yeah.
No, I mean,
I like for the segments.
For the individual segments, I'll be like,
you get
platinum on time, platinum on combo. Oh, you took like 2 hits. participation on damage taken. I'm like, fuck off.
Yeah, I'm hoping
And that brings it-
there's a game that's going through a Kickstarter right now. Hint, hint, called Vernal Edge. That's it's a side scroller version of this kind of game. And a side scroller, character action game. I'm hoping like they kind of shy away from that because, man, you know what, man, video games, stop judging me. Like, for real, stop it.
Especially when it's Sonic the Hedgehog judges you.
Especially when Sonic the Hedgehog judges you. It's the worst. Don't do that.
But yeah, every mission in this, I get either bronze or silver, and when you get bronze, he goes, "I expect more from you, team." It's like, fuck off.
Yeah,
I really like when you pause the game.
That one's funny.
You chill for a second, then the controller speaker goes, "Your team needs you."
yeah.
There's one where it's like, "Can you get me a soda while you're out there?"
I love dumb touches like that in video games.
Yeah.
Yes. This feels Wonderful 101 feels extremely itself.
Oh, yeah, like,
and
there's
I
nothing-
always appreciate that.
There's nothing quite like it. Like, that game has got an identity of its own. It's just not one that I'm really all that into.
I'm here for I'm okay with the perspective. I was able to kind of penetrate to the game I wanted to play underneath that.
Yeah.
So now the only thing is just like, well, at least this is a lot longer
It's a lot.
than I'm used to.
I think maybe you'll see what I'm talking about later on, because in Mission 3, there's some weird stuff with this perspective, where, like, you're in a tube that's rotating, but the whole view is from a 45-degree angle, and, like, the depth is weird. It kind of gets to be a lot at some points, and, like,
Okay.
the way when you walk in front of another building, it does, like, the picture, the kind of the segmented view.
Yeah.
So, like, now the whole screen is vignetted on the sides by stuff that doesn't matter. And it's just, but then, like, the life bar is super huge. Everything in that game is tiny, but the life bar is like a quarter of the screen.
Yeah.
It's funny because I've actually been playing it in 4K on my TV because I don't have a PC monitor right now. And it's just like, when you look at those screenshots, it's like, well, the life bar is huge. Everything else is tiny.
It did not scale the UI very well,
They
at all.
No, straight up doesn't scale. It just gets bigger.
Ouch.
The life bar would probably be too small if it actually scaled.
Maybe.
I wonder if the game was like 720p originally, because even at 1080 it looks a little blurry. Like there's the 2D assets I don't think they did anything to. But that's kind of a minor complaint.
Yeah.
It's just when you're playing the game, the life bar is huge and the batteries are huge.
Yeah.
And the enemies are very small.
They're tiny.
So yeah, I'll have probably more to say about that next week.
Yeah, I might be there with you.
Cool.
And then I guess I played One Shot.
Mm-hmm.
I reached credits.
Mm-hmm.
And the game said, "Hey, if you're satisfied, you could stop now."
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, I'm going to keep going.
Interesting. One Shot does some fun shit.
One Shot has already done some fun shit, and I literally have no idea what could be coming.
Right. The one that you showed me the screenshot of earlier was one that, like, when it started happening,
I was just like,
I was screaming at my monitor at 2 a.m. on Twitter. Why? How did you do this?
Yeah, I'm like actually kind of beside myself that an RPG Maker game did that.
Yeah.
Like, I'm very confused.
It's a real good
It plays
thing.
with meta stuff in fun ways that I've never seen before. That's about all I can say right now.
I am excited. This one is pretty high on my list.
It's neat.
Neat.
It's a good video game. Well, I guess that's it.
Polly. I was so determined to get it out from you at the start of the episode, and you blocked me.
All right. Okay.
Just massive blue balls over there.
Okay.
Characteristically massive.
All
Okay.
right.
I'm gonna sit back.
All right. So I watched.
The pressure is immense, huh?
I watched an anime. And it's an anime that we have talked about on this show before. We're all familiar with it. We're several times. I watched the first 2 arcs of Higurashi Kai. They're good. That's real good. There's that arc they did specifically for Kai. It's really good. It's an amalgamation of 3 arcs that aren't in the original work, so they kind of and like Satoko isn't the actual
Does that
character.
include the demon exposing one?
Yeah, That's the one where like
I
it
had fun with
starts with reunion and you get to meet grown up Renna and it's really cool.
Oh, I bet
Oh,
that's
right.
nice.
I forgot. Okay, I did actually forget about that one.
Yeah, that's a really good episode where they kind of like that episode takes place after that arc.
Yeah.
So
Interesting.
That's just the first episode of Kai, right?
Yeah. That's an original, and then the arc they do after that is an amalgamation of like 3 console arcs. But they like make Satoko.
Ends with some fucking happy times.
Oh boy, it's really happy. It's super happy.
Yeah. Super happy.
Yeah. But yeah, I still got like the last arc of Higurashi Kai to rewatch. So yeah, that's
Now, why are you doing that right before while reading the visual novel?
I'm doing
she's
it.
maybe jerking your chain, maybe.
I watched an anime called
What was that, fella? Metal Gear?
Get fire. Oh man, I don't know what's going on. Hold on. I need to drink water.
I don't understand this bit.
It's I watched an anime called Zenki Sessho Symphogear.
Oh, I like that one.
We talked about this one on the podcast
A few times.
A few times. It might have come up. So there's that show that Rhett likes where people sing and the girl punches stuff. It's this really... it's got a cool setup for one of these kinds of shows. So it's like the girl kind of... The main character fucking dies. It's like, whoa! Like, and it's not... But it doesn't spend its runtime kind of wallowing in that, in the way that something like Madoka is. Even though I kind of like put these at a kind of a similar spectrum. This is a show that like it touches the dark territory, but it doesn't wallow in it. Like something like this is a show that gave me a lot of My Hime vibes, actually.
That's definitely one of the ones I thought about a lot. I think season 1 especially has mid 2000s energy.
There's like it feels like this show dropped out of 2007.
Exactly.
It's got like really vibrant colors. It's excellently produced most of the time. The action is got oh my god, the action has so much impact. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous, loud, and satisfying in the ways that you want something big. Like oh hey, you did Nanoha A's, but it's actually way better.
Oh fuck!
I'm done. And I'm spent.
Jesus. But like I said, this is a show where the characters sing and they punch things. So the singing and battle stuff literally had me laughing every time it happened. It is never handled in a way that I feel is convincing at all. Like, because, okay, you do the insert song. The insert song is going, right? It is a blaring. And you have these, like, where these characters are punching each other, but their mouth is moving. But also, they're actually yelling at each other during the fights while the vocal track is going. But the character's also having an inner monologue at the same time. I hate to say it, but the singing and them trying to focus on that being a thing, every time it happened, literally ripped me out of a moment. Every time they focused on it, like, it would take this cool action moment and then, like, oh, here's a weird shot of you singing, I guess.
Your mouth moving to this song that does not sound like it's in the same scene.
Exactly. The musical part of this show, it doesn't work. I don't think it does anyway. I'm not the biggest fan of how that lands. I think the action is fantastic, but like when they try to make it a moment, like especially like when they're going for the really deep moments, where they want that song to have a lot of impact, and they think that it's really lining up emotionally with the scene that is happening, I think they whiff. Like almost every time. There are a couple times. It's like, I get what you're doing. The lyrics make sense being here. But a lot of the time, it's like
when Chris is singing.
Like, okay, Chris's song being just like fucking murder kill everything is great. It's fantastic. It should be a death metal song. It really should. Like, if your song is gonna be just about slaughter and kill everything, I wish it wasn't a fucking J-pop song. So the musical stuff kinda didn't land for me. It doesn't kill the show, but it killed some moments.
The impression me and John both had of season 1 is that the singing while they fight thing doesn't work until like the last 2 episodes.
Exactly. Like I think that like when they make it work with those big soaring moments and their big huge action set pieces and they're real like and also just huge emotional stakes, fuck yeah, that worked. But every time before that, I literally fucking laughed. Yeah. I had to laugh every time. So if I'm to take something from this show to make some valid criticism, I feel is valid.
Okay.
I feel like this show wants one thing. This show only wants me to think that Hibiki is the coolest person in the room. At literally, and it makes it feel like they're not confident in that. Like, they spend so much time in this show, they want to convince me that Hibiki is fucking cool and awesome. And she's not the kind of character that I feel you need to spend 50 episodes trying to get behind. She is a character that is a universal good. She's a very good person. She's selfless. She wants to do everything she can for everyone around her, and I was there from moment one. But that
first episode is so solid. She's rescuing that kid.
Exactly.
Oh, man.
They spend 13 episodes telling me how cool Hibiki is, to the detriment of me being able to get into other characters is the problem. Like, Tsubasa and Chris are like afterthoughts in a way. And I like Chris the most. So it's like, and I feel...
Oh, there it is.
There it is.
The polls. I voted for Chris. That was my guess.
Yeah.
No, I told John like a week ago, I bet Chris is her favorite.
I think I might have been it.
Chris is actually the most popular.
Like, Chris is a character who I feel on her own, she has a really interesting and emotional story that it's deeply rooted in personal trauma and issues that is so worth going into.
Yeah, but I thought it was done really well in first season of Nanoha.
But
it actually has room to breathe, and it's the emotional core of the show.
They shrug it off to just keep telling me how cool Hibiki is.
It does not feel thought through to me.
No, it doesn't. Unfortunately, I think that they even gave like Tsubasa got a decent amount of growth, but I think that the kind of character that they are making her to be, because like Hibiki kind of has to be her foil for a bit because she's quote unquote replacing someone.
That's line.
That's a powerful moment, and I think that they follow through on that. I wish that they would have kind of stuck with it a little more. I think that that's a moment you can get more than just like one episode out of. I think that that's a moment that you struggle through and try to work through. Like, you fucked up in a real big way in saying that. And I know it's not what you meant, but this is a character that's dealing with something that's really fucking deeply embedded into who they are. And the way that, like, it's just kind of like the Hibiki show and everybody else kind of just has to get shoved to the side. Oh, it just took me out of it a little bit. But. I'm going to pull you back in. I'm going to reel you back in. You'll probably like the image I'm using on screen right now, too.
Wait, I need to open the stream again.
Yeah, open the stream. You'll probably like that a lot. So for what it is, in the overall grand scheme of things, Symphogear...
That's a very good picture, sorry.
So what it is, I don't think that this show does, like, it doesn't commit sins that are so wrong that are just like, oh god, this is unwatchable. I feel like the plot with the main antagonist and all of that stuff is a little too on the nose and straightforward. And such an intense focus on how rad Hibiki is really takes away from everything else. But those are issues that, if you can tell me they handle them a little bit in later seasons, I'm actually on board for watching more of this show. I don't dislike this show in any way. It captures a lot of that mid-2000 energy that I like. And even though I think that it's really, really flawed in what it did with its first season and how it really undercut the rest of its cast to try and propel its main character, which is something that even Mai Hime comes dangerously close to doing. Yeah. But you still remember a lot of characters that actually go pretty deep in that show. But that show is also 26 episodes.
Yeah.
But
I definitely think a lot of the problems of season 1 is that it got no space to breathe. They did not leave a moment
no.
to breathe.
No.
Because, like, when you think about how quickly some stuff like the Miku Hibiki fight
Yeah.
kind of comes and goes, and then Chris's
Wasn't
turn.
there like a sword that gets like a magic sword that gets introduced
And
and
just-
then resolved in one episode?
And one episode, yeah.
No, and then it comes back in the final
Yeah,
battle.
it comes
real
back in the
quickly.
final battle with what's her name. But like the
What's her name?
the Chris stuff got so shoved aside and under the rug, and I feel that in terms of making a character that has to deal with some real shit, like all three characters have legitimate reason to be dealing with some real shit. Like Hibiki has to balance this real life issue of having to hide like this really weird thing from her best friend, and it's something they do a good job of portraying as literally kind of tearing her up because it's not something she wants to be doing. I think that's a good story beat. You've got Tsubasa's really good story beat of having to deal with what happened 2 years ago and having to deal with like somebody stepping into a role for somebody that is no longer there anymore but meant a lot to you. There's good meat there. There's really fantastic stuff that they could do with Chris. And it's just like, I would hope going forward that that's something that maybe they delve into a little more. Like, I know that this show is big and loud and stupid and continues to be, which is good. Like, I'm here for that, but I would also just like, man, you gotta give me a little more. Just give me if I can get a little more, just tell me there's a little more meat on that bone that's worth savoring. Like, I'm here to watch more, and I will probably do so anyway. But also know that I'm going in with expectations that hopefully you guys dig a little more into the stuff that I do like, because again, I'm here for Hibiki. I was there the moment, like by the end of that first episode, it's like that's a character you get behind.
Yep. Got that image of the thing erupting out of her also.
Yeah,
that was like
that's real.
That was like pretty metal.
Yeah, like Hibiki is metal as fuck. I'm here for it. I don't need you to keep telling me that.
I keep telling everybody that.
We have Rhett for that.
I have Rhett for that. I don't need you to spend the entire runtime of your next season telling me how cool Hibiki is. Just show me and then elaborate more on the other people she's interacting with, because I think that they have really good and cool stories that are worth exploring as well. So that's my thoughts.
Cool.
On Symphogear. I thought Senki Zesho Symphogear. I told you I'd give you a season, and we're now looking at giving you 2.
Cool.
I think I don't want to say where this goes from here, but John obviously knows, and season 2 was the one he did not like at all.
I know. I'm kind of bracing myself for season 2.
I think season 2 is absolutely the make or break one.
We'll see then, because I'm probably going to be giving that a look.
I don't know which way it'll go. I won't say.
Yeah,
oh,
don't color it either way. I don't
Yeah.
want you to tell me your thoughts on this right now. Like, we're just going to wait.
I mean, you had the thought of, I like this better than Nanoha, and I specifically thought, I don't like this as much as Nanoha. So that was me coming out of the first season.
I
So
like
you might be in a better place.
The thing that I like about this more than Nanoha A's specifically, we're talking about Nanoha A's specifically, is that I like...
Which John has
not seen. It's the production value. It's a production value. Like, I just like the action in this show a whole lot. I think that overall, as a show, Nanoha A's is better. Okay. But it's working from established characters, and it doesn't have to take time to get started going up again.
I was really hurting for an emotional core that I could really latch onto, and that's kind of what I was...
And, like, the show has an emotional core is the thing. It's that they don't elaborate on it. Because I think that all the makings...
an emotional core that feels like that feels like it's the core, so the show knows is the core.
Yeah.
Because I was like, I completely bought, like, when Hibiki and Miku were like having a fight because Hibiki was hiding this thing. I was like, this hurts. I love this.
Yeah, like, I thought that was really well done. Like, they handled that.
But then Miku's just off screen for the finale. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah, it just kind of hurts the moment a little bit. But hey, we're giving this show a second season. Like, it earned a second season in Polyland. We'll be showing the second season in Polyland. So there you go.
I still did enjoy the first season. Like, I came away from that feeling like pretty positive. Like, hey, I like I didn't get what I wanted. I have like kind of rigid narrative expectations sometimes. I've kind of realized.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I was coming away from it after some time away from like season 2. I was like, it's okay that other people can deal with not getting that specific kind of thing that I wanted, because they appreciate all of these other cool things the story is doing.
I think that's sort of where I'm at with it. Is that like there's definitely something I want out of this because I think they can do it. Like they've got they've done a lot of good groundwork. They've done a lot of good groundwork for me.
Cool. I think it's like season 1 of Nanaha has the Fate stuff.
Right.
And it's very good.
Yeah.
Whereas this is trying to do like character arcs for like at least 4 characters, and then also have the big 3-episode final boss battle, and it just all gets really compressed.
Yeah. And I know that like all the seasons are 12 and 13 episodes, correct?
They're all 12. They're all 13 episodes.
So yeah, like I think I know what I'm getting myself into from here on. I know what to expect.
I mean, you've literally heard me talk about this show like a billion times.
Yeah, but the specifics of okay, we're going into season 2 now. What can I expect?
And we're not going to say.
Yeah.
Right. Cool. So we'll definitely be hearing more about Symphogear in coming episodes.
Yeah. Can I tell you a funny story?
Sure. When John watches season 3.
Sure.
So this is just like backstory to the production of Symphogear that I find super interesting. The composer for the whole series, this is going back to 2004. He did the opening theme for a show that we've watched called Chrono Crusade.
Hey, that show is very good.
And then also in 2004, Nana Mizuki, a singer, played the role of Fate Testarossa in Nanaha.
Yeah.
And apparently she contacted this music producer who did the Chrono Crusade opening and said, hey, let's work together.
Oh.
And then they started working together, and they did the opening theme to Nanaha A's.
Right.
And that was like her huge breakout hit.
Yeah.
And that was like that song was like a big deal. So it's funny. So a few nights ago, I was mentioning, I'm listening to a bunch of Nana Mizuki music, and Iffy is like, oh, I really like her.
Oh.
And I'm just like, you should watch Symphogear if you like her. Because Nana Mizuki does all 5 openings for every single season of Symphogear.
Right.
She plays Tsubasa. So she has all of Tsubasa's songs.
Yeah.
And then all the concert songs. So it's like, even like before knowing that she had like this career outside of Symphogear, I was just like, oh, this whole thing is actually just a vehicle to promote her, isn't it?
Yeah, like that's kind of like the feeling that I had. But it makes sense.
It's just funny thinking like, oh, this specific like collaboration between the composer and her goes back to Nana A's.
Yeah, all the way back then. Like that's 16 years.
Yeah, and then in the Symphogear mobile game, they just did a Nanaha collab.
Oh wow, that's right, they did.
So there's one joke where they go, wow, this Fate girl, she sounds a lot like Tsubasa did when she was younger.
That's fucking cute.
They're very cute. And then during the final battle in that story arc, they play the Nanaha A's opening.
Aww.
It's so good.
That's really fucking tasteful.
That rules.
Yeah, Yeah. Like Symphogear is a cool thing. There are things.
Oh my god, just say it again.
Oh my god, this is really horny territory for Rhett.
He's been edging him all week.
Symphogear is a cool thing.
See, when you hate the next season, we have to like have this one documented on tape.
Right. Yeah.
Before you wiggle out of it like John did.
Before you lower season 1 score.
This really tapped into that mid 2000s energy that I haven't seen in a long time. And again, like we talk about,
not have any frame of reference for. Like I've watched shows from that period, but it wasn't wasn't living through it.
Yeah.
I was catching up.
Yeah, like 2005 to 2008 was an incredible run for original anime works and good adaptations.
My Hime was.
It was
an
original.
Wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a Sunrise original.
Yeah, that was definitely the one focus point. I was like, wow, this is like, a new My Hime for season 1. And then when I watched season 2 of Symphogear, I was like, oh man, they did Nanoha A's again.
Hey man, guess what? Season one of Symphogear has better ending than My Hime.
Oh god.
That's not a big competition.
Good God, My Hime's ending. We could do an entire podcast about why that's bad.
It's real bad. I think even John said the one. Remember, he has that Discord where they all hate Symphogear.
Yeah.
Suikoden 2. And
I was exactly about to bring that up. I was like,
what's the third one?
We argued about which was worse, Suikoden or Fire Emblem Awakening.
Oh yeah.
And I think we actually kind of settled on Fire Emblem Awakening, but then we argued over which was worse, Suikoden or Symphogear.
Yeah.
And we all decided that we liked Suikoden. Well, those of us that had played both, that we liked Suikoden less. That we thought Suikoden was worse because Suikoden does not try like Symphogear tries.
Symphogear is trying, and that is the thing that is very clear. The show is confident, but it's trying, and you can get a lot through with confidence. Like this show has a lot of confidence in its vision, and that's why I think that I stuck with it. Is because like if you do something and you got a lot of gusto, even if I'm not 100% into it, you can probably snare me, and I'll at least admire that. And I think that's sort of where I'm at with this show right now. Is like I'm liking where it's going. You got that energy that I like from something like My Hime, My Otome. Like if it can just pile up, if it can just add a few more of those little things that I like, I think that this is something that could very much hook me to the end. So.
Yeah, Symphogear G definitely evolves from where it is at in Symphogear Season 1. So I think that is a good...
That's good.
That's a sign.
Like
it's not
having evolution. Having evolution, even if it's not the kind of evolution that I would prefer. Like, obviously, let's delve more into Chris and Tsubasa's kind of, weird brain spaces. But I don't think that that's going to be what this show does. But if you evolve in some way that is different from what it is right now, you're probably going to keep me on board.
Mm-hmm. Cool. And it sounds like 3 evolves in another very different way. Like, yeah, I get it.
Those whole
Brett, thank you for sharing this adventure with us. It has been like
continuing.
Watching your Symphogear journey has been extremely nice.
Yeah,
it has only brought me joy.
Look, I didn't want anybody thinking that I was going to come on this show and shit on it, even if I didn't like it. Like, if I didn't like it, I just wouldn't do a segment on it because, like, I'm not going to be the person to sit here and shit on something somebody likes so much. Like, that's not my style.
That's John's job.
That's John's job. That's John's job to do at the end of the year in a very callous and malicious manner.
Very like premeditated sort. I think evil.
Evil. It was very premeditated.
I think evil is maybe a good word for it.
So I was going to say a second ago though, like you're talking about how like the show feels like they have a lot of confidence in their vision.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. One of the things I read about the last season is that like all the transformation scenes were like animated by animators who that was their specific favorite character.
Oh wow!
Oh my God.
That is so wholesome. It's so wholesome. It rots my teeth out. It's so sweet.
And it's even crazier because, like, not the entire transformation, but part of them are animated on ones.
Oh, wow.
So, like, part of Chris's is, like, 30 FPS. It's crazy.
That's nuts.
The production values get... if you think they're good in Season 1...
Hey, wow
What sites we have to show you.
Yeah,
Season 1 kind of looks bad compared to all the others.
That's good, because, I thought that show looked pretty good. I thought that the action in that show landed and it hit the way that I wanted it to. So if we're getting better than that, I'm on board. Like, let's do it. Let the sparks fucking fly.
Paul, do you like Miku? I love Miku.
Oh my God, was that a groan?
I love her.
Oh, this is interesting though. Because Miku's kind of important.
I know that she's important. I just hope that there's a little more evolution beyond what she is right now.
Beyond being the sweetest, nicest wife.
Yeah.
I'm
fine with the nice wife character. Look,
she's so nice and pretty.
Like the nice wife characters. I like Rena a lot, right? Perfect wife, right? So,
Yeah, perfect. Yeah.
So
nothing else going on. That's just her, right?
Yep.
That's
Nothing
all
else. It's all fine.
When you even said at the start, like, oh, and Hibiki's friend Miku, and I'm like, wife.
Yeah, they are very man. Like when Rhett was going through his journey with this show, I had all like because like he had gone through sound euphonium beforehand.
Oh God, yeah.
And it was like, oh, look at all of the fake gay that they're not committing to. And I thought going into Symphogear and the way he was kind of hyping it up, I was like, oh, they're just doing it again. Like you're just getting fooled again. It's like, and then watching it, oh no, they're literally wife and wife. No, they live together. They sleep in the same bed holding hands. They're literally wife and wife.
At
that point, I don't feel like you need to have them like make out.
They
on
don't
screen
need to be literally making out on.
gay.
Yeah, like they're 197,000% gay.
Which is nice.
They're a great couple. They work perfect together.
No, wait, no, that's the joke. Sorry, Miku is my son. Miku is my sunflower.
Oh my god. So gay. They're so gay and it is adorable. I just want her to be a little more than what she is right now.
Okay.
Though, Miku
What?
wise.
The sweet gay isn't enough to drive you through like 50 episodes.
She might need a little evolution in the
That's
process.
not pure. Miku is my sunflower isn't enough to sustain your interest.
I don't know that Miku is my sunflower sustains 55 episodes of an anime.
It sustained 13 episodes for John. No, it's just the strength of that first episode and the finale just going fucking buck wild.
Like that show bookends super well.
See, I think those last 3 episodes, like that's Symphogear.
Yeah, like one of the episodes is literally called Symphogear.
Excellent.
That's like the moment I was like, oh, I think I love this. Is the end of episode 12 where she just shouts Symphogear super loud.
Yep.
It's so dumb.
It's
Symphogear,
but it's so confident.
Yeah, like I love big and dumb. We all know this about me. So this game is big and dumb in my. This show is big and dumb in my favorite ways.
I've continually confessed how big and dumb this is.
Yeah.
Like that website that was like, it's big and it's stupid. And I love it. And Polly's like, did you write this?
Yeah, did you write this? Yeah. Like, and even with the singing stuff, it's stupid. But it's like, it's an okay kind of, it's an okay kind of stupid that I'm here for because, again, that confidence sells it.
Yeah.
Like, it may not be a thing that I like and am into, and it might pull me out of some scenes and every now and again, but you are doing that with so much fucking conviction, and I fucking admire you for it.
Awesome. And again, like we were, like I compared, our group was like comparing with Suikoden, where just every climax is this limp fart. Where it's like, and then it's like, oh, okay, you weren't really trying here. You didn't actually care that much, did you? That's really unfortunate. And then Symphogear is just Symphogear.
Like literally screaming Symphogear for no fucking reason.
G goes a good bit harder, I would say.
Yeah.
Well, it's like they have the climax where they beat the final boss, and then there's one more thing to push the climax like even further.
And that's so smart and good. Man. Okay.
It's funny.
What?
I went back and re-listened to me talking about season 1 on the podcast, and it is the most dumb basic observations of like, her sword get real big.
It does get real big.
She punched things real hard.
I said like literally nothing about the actual characters or story other than it's big and dumb and I like it.
I wish we had an archiver of somebody that like listened.
Oh no, I'm working on my own chronicling my own Symphogear journey.
I know, but I wish we had an archiver over the years that kept track of all the funny, dumb shit that happened, and I could just pull clips together on a whim and be like, "Here's Rhett on the first episode of Symphogear."
Yeah.
Like,
I literally don't say any character's name. I just go like,
holy
the one
shit!
with the sword.
She got
it's real
sword.
bad.
They sting. Oh my god.
I like Miku. And I do like that. I do still really like that girl in the first episode who dies. like immediately.
Yep.
Just like,
good.
do you remember? Did that jump out to you, Polly? Do you remember?
Yes.
Did you? Good.
The first episode is so weirdly violent.
Yes.
It's the girl that screams. For anyone else in the audience, it's the girl who screams, "I don't want to die.
I don't want to die.
I don't want to die."
Yeah.
And then dies.
Then probably
dies.
You remember when the character in Chrono Crusade didn't want to die and you hated that, Rhett?
Fuck off. See, that's the connection to That's the connection Chrono Crusade has to Symphogear.
Chrono Crusade has a very good "I don't want to die" moment. That
yeah, I know.
Oh man, it just pulls your guts out, and you just like, man, I am not a human being anymore.
See, this one doesn't. Symphogears doesn't spend the entire show building it up.
Oh fuck me, man! Oh,
John,
man.
you need to watch Chrono Crusade.
No, you don't.
Yes, you did. It's really good.
Is it edgy? Is it edgy?
It's got some edge to it, but I think it is a really well done story.
Cool.
Rhett awesome. Hates it. Rhett hates it because
the ending so
it made
much.
him cry so fucking hard.
Symphogear is a happy cry because they're winning. This was just an ugly.
Yes, doing this, that was so much. That was also the thing is, G didn't have quite as much of like the edgy moments, or it seemed like Symphogear like started off, and they were like, well, what's the tone we're going for here?
Right.
And then they kind of had to figure it out as they went along. Because there's weird shit like the torture scene with Chris that is completely out of place with the rest of the show.
Yeah, like I was about to say, like what am I getting from this? Because they don't really do anything with it. It feels like we were patterning after Nanoha, and we forgot to take out the fate torture.
Everyone. It's been so weird watching a bunch of Symphogear fans on my Twitter watch Nanoha now.
Yeah.
So they're coming to it in reverse, and they're all like, "Oh, this is like Fine and Chris in season 1 of Symphogear." I'm just like,
not
yeah,
really.
Except
because
that came like 10 years earlier.
This came 10 years earlier, and they actually kind of like it was expounded upon and made sense. Whereas the Chris scene was kind of just like,
it's a little more tactful and has a place in the actual story.
Yeah, like what is this doing here? Like, what is this, sir? Like she says something about, like, I'm the only one that'll love you or something, but then, like, there's
Immediately ditches her.
Immediately fucking ditches her the fucking moment it's inconvenient.
So it's just
Chris's entire backstory is so horrible. If you really dig into it, they really kind of glaze over it a lot.
It's unfortunate because, like I said, I think that there's a good story for her there, and you can really kind of build her.
Because she's the suffering one.
Yeah.
But that's the thing; they're all actually the suffering one. She just suffers the most.
Yeah, she's had some shit thrown her way, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like I like Symphogear.
I want to watch more Nanoha.
It's good. So I think that's gonna do it.
Cool.
Unless anybody else has anything to talk about.
I'm good.
Are you good?
You good?
I have like I said, I have like
just under 3 hours.
Yeah, that's a very respectable, I think.
Nice. We did it. Go us.
I started You and Me and Her a love story, but then I was like, oh, I'm sure this is great. I want to read Higurashi before Polly streams Higurashi.
Yeah.
So I can watch the stream. Because
Nice.
I did not want to experience that in a social setting. I was like, this needs to be a John adventure, and then it can be a shared experience.
Yeah. And it'll be probably a week or so before I get to Watanagashi. So.
Don't worry. I'm pretty confident I'll be caught up. So don't wait a double on my account.
I won't wait on your account. Like
you
I will.
seem to be crushing through that.
Yeah, I'm jumping into Watanagashi the moment I absolutely feel like it. So, yeah.
Thank you.
That's going to be fun. But, of course, I want to thank everybody for coming out. Thank you. Very generous evening with all of the gift subs and the like. It's always kind of a bit overwhelming. I never know what to say when people kind of drop money on this dumb channel because it's just like, it's just dumb podcasts and me talking. What are you doing? You could do way better than that. But again, it's always appreciated. Again, we're working on Game of the Decade. We will probably have a date by next episode, I think. I think it'll likely be announced the final date next week sometime. Just gotta wait to Rhett get his monitor back in, get all that sorted out. Beepner, thanks for the 100 bits, much appreciated, sir. And that's gonna do it for us for now, John. fire. Where can the internet folks at large find you?
Bumping up my Symphogear score by 1. It's cool now.
Oh, Polly likes it. +1. Now it's a
There
7
we
out
go.
of 10.
Now it's a 7.
I didn't do that, but I had the fleeting thought of doing it, and then I was so annoyed at myself. I was like, God damn it.
I've always wanted to ask if you've ever been so annoying that you literally annoy yourself.
Oh, don't worry. That happens. Farawaytimes.itch.io. Hopefully I'll get a nice little Sokoban thing out before too long.
Coolness.
Yeah.
Rhett's Internet.
I don't know. Twitter.com/Red. I post anime boobs.
He posts anime boobs. Sometimes those boobs are not covered up. So just so you know, boy posts some NSFW every now and then.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you can find me at my dumb website, as always. So thanks again, everybody, for listening. And remember, we are the podcast that loves you. We are the only ones that love you. Black Lives Matter. All right. So we're going to send you all off. Where are we sending people?
Actually, my Twitter is actually mostly Hibiki now, honestly.
Yeah, you do a lot of Hibiki.
I forgot to mention this on the podcast proper. Yeah. So, like, when I wake up in the morning, I don't get up until noon. But, like, if I wake up at, like, 9 a.m., I'll just check Twitter on my phone and just, catch up on the timeline overnight.
Uh-huh.
I had a morning where I'm just doing that. Just, boobs, scroll.
Right.
And then there's a picture of Hibiki. And I could physically feel the smile creep across my face. I was just like, oh man, I'm in deep, huh?
Hey, thank you for sending me all of the Mikus on the internet.
You literally found them all.
Over the last, 8 months. It has brought me a lot of joy.
Right. I'm going to send you all...
really likes Miku.
He really
does.
Me.
I'm going to send you all over to my good pal, Super Pitfro. He is grinding Contra right now, trying to get a PB. We want the boy to get a sub 10 one day, and we're hoping really hard for him. So, thank you, Tinker Gemini, for the 100 bits as well. Much appreciated. So everybody go say hi to my good pal, Super Pitfro, and we will catch you in another couple weeks. Take it easy, everybody. We love you.
Bye. G also has some very good Miku content.